Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another day, another edition here of the RSL Revival StarCraft League Season 4 2026 Playoffs Day number 5 co-stream. I'm of course your VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the Hulu chat, and of course by our hosts, Tasteless, State, Gemini, and Sturgeon, as they'll be joining us throughout the course of the show. Welcome, welcome. As we are here, we're back, we are live with the RSL Playoffs. Again, the RSL is a community-funded event. It's an online tournament featuring the best players in Korea and also in Europe as well. We did have some Europeans competing and playing to the point where we have our top 4. Sorry, we have our top 6. We have our top 6. As you can see here on the bracket, we do have Maro and Max Packs on the upper bracket. There are top 2 players in the upper bracket. And meanwhile, we do have the lower bracket matches tonight, featuring Trigger versus Cure and ByuN versus Rogue. We have 2 series. 2 series tonight, pure best of 5s. Best of 5 between Trigger and Cure, best of 5 between ByuN and Rogue. Tomorrow, there's only going to be 1 series. Tomorrow, it's just Maro and Max Packs. That's it. And then Sunday is going to be the final 3 matches in the lower bracket into the grand finals. So 3 days straight of RSL action, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Let's go, baby. Let us go. Also, if you want to help support the event and support the RSL, !RSL in the chat, there is a link to the RSL Patreon. The Patreon does fund the event and, of course, does support the event as well, so you can do so over on the RSL Patreon. Otherwise, we are getting ready here for the final week, the final weekend of RSL. We're here to crown our champion, baby. And we'll be starting things off with the lower bracket matches. Oh boy, we'll be catching up. I'm also a big shout out, of course, to Archon Studio, for, of course, bringing together, sponsoring the event and bringing together the StarCraft miniatures game, as pre-orders are currently open. I think they're about to close in a couple of days. I want to say like it's around like 12th of April-ish. So if you do want to pre-order, if you want to get some discounts on those pre-orders, then you can do so via their official website. And I believe they have partnered with with certain other sellers around the world when it comes to pre-orders. So you can do so. Again, I believe there's going to be a couple of videos shown on the RSL stream of them opening and constructing Zeratul. So they have done that. I have pre-ordered my starter set. I got my starter set on the way, papi. Let's go. Painting stream one day, maybe. We'll see, baby. We'll see. Meanwhile, yeah, they're just showcasing their own Patreon, their own different supporters. When it comes to their Patreon, it does also allow patrons to vote on what maps they want featured in the tournament, what maps and also what players as well. There was a Patreon fan vote and there was a Patreon map vote as well, for what maps to bring in, what maps to take out, and what players to be invited in as well. So there are other benefits.
Support the show here. We've got RSL merch, we've got other
otherwise we're about to jump in. It's of course our second broadcast of the day. We were live earlier this morning with the OSC Elite Rising Star, and tomorrow we're going to be live with some Kung Fu Cup as well. It's been an intense week, papi. It's been a lot of catching up, a lot of StarCraft, as you can imagine, and we're gonna make it, man. We're gonna make it. I believe. It's been intense, but we will make it through. Otherwise, again, do check out the YouTube. We're just going all through all the things here. We have the YouTube channel for the RSL. We have the YouTube channel for the CranKy Ducklings as well. We do stream on YouTube at the same time. VODs are available on a daily basis. Plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft, plenty of VODs are there.
It does help get the word out there about the RSL.
Yeah, and we have our raffle for our posters. If you're an Immortal
true. They do have some posters for last season's finals. They look good.
We have not mailed them out, correct? Not yet. Okay, but we will be when we finish the raffle here. So there's only 50 of these. We signed each and every one of them. So those are going to be coming out here as well. And, of course, for 2026, we have a limited edition poster we'll be making as well as we get closer to the end of the year. Or I guess probably wrapping up.
Personally, I kind of wish they made the posters a little bit more available.
Yes.
But
amazing. It's huge as well.
They made it exclusive to Patreon.
Memorabilia. I know I'm going to get one of those posters. I'm going to put that up in my room, Tasteless.
And you need it, man. You want to get one. And honestly, the first year of RSL, it felt like a miracle. You guys came and you supported us. We got the studio built. We put on the show. Then we did the offline event. And it's like, oh my God.
Oh, we have our players.
It worked.
Yeah.
And now it's just something we can do and we can share with you guys.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Vetoes are done. We have our trigger. We have our cure as well. We have our PvT. Game 1 is going to be on Celestial Enclave. Game 2 is going to be on Necropolis. Game 3 on the Old Republic, followed by Title Citadel and by 10,000 feet. Okay. We have mainly larger maps. I say that, of course, we have 10,000 feet at the end of the series. Necropolis is, I want to say, more of a macro-oriented map. I'm curious to see how our players will approach this here. I mean, it feels like our players are willing to go to the mid to late game. Looks like we might get a longer series. RSL so far, one of the biggest, I say issues, one of the biggest things about RSL this season, really fast games, a lot of cheese, a lot of aggression, a lot of all-ins, and very few macro games. It's been short broadcast days. That might change here though. Might finally change.
So I'm excited to see what they have in store for us here in this best of 5.
Okay.
Take it away.
So in this game, Cure in the bottom left and Trigger in the top right. Cure in the last several years.
Yeah, Cure representing Team Liquid. Trigger, of course, representing Basilisk. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Coming into this, I do lean towards Cure, but at the same time, you know, Trigger, he's our boy, right? He's been improving quite a lot over the past couple of months, and I don't want to count him out. I do know that Trigger, he had a bit of a lackluster performance earlier in the tournaments, but I'm hoping he can recover here.
It's kind of hard to get anybody who's going to bubble up to the surface when you've got players like Cure or Maru or all the rest of the guys who are so strong here. So I think this should be a fun match going forward. Trigger's going to send his probe out across the map immediately. Cure has gone for tech. Probably this is going to be tech into expand unless we have some surprises.
Yeah, just a one gas opening here for Cure, so likely going to be a very fast expansion. And I wonder whether either of these players are going to be taking.
Like Taste is like, oh, we're probably going to get tech into expand, and then State's like, yeah, we went one gas, so it's going to be faster CC, which is true. Like it is going to be more of an economic build, single gas opener.
More and more have just been favoring taking the full mineral expansions, even though they are a little bit more risky.
Take his hand, State. Take his hand. You can do it.
I think there's some interesting ideas to that. Obviously, on a map like this, you can scout their pocket base, right? But you can also prevent them from scouting that if you put a little bit of effort into denying that. And, you know, if it's not clear when they took their third and you can hide it, you could do something even sneaky, like do a 2-base timing push when they assume that you're just going to take that free base. So there's definitely some mind games here. I wouldn't even mind seeing a map where you have a pocket base, but there's no way to scout it as easily. And just kind of see what strategies that creates.
I mean, that has existed before.
Yeah, I think Celestial Enclave is the first map to actually feature these worker-only pads, though. And I'm excited for the next Team Liquid map contest because I really want to see what map makers can do with some of these new tools. And
is this obviously this isn't the first map in the TLMC that has used mineral worker pods, but maybe the first one that hit the ladder. Maybe.
So we've got the first Reaper coming in now. And
like I'm still thinking of Talisman, for example. True.
The Adept is just stalking it here. The Stargate's about halfway done.
Oh, yeah, Stargate opener out of Trigger. Not normal, by the way. The Reaper could have gone for a scout. Does he get behind the mineral line? Oh, he does not.
I felt like he could have maybe gotten one there.
I thought he was going to scout the Stargate. He still doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
Oh, I'm so glad you pointed that out. I hadn't even noticed that. Yeah, you're right. He's completely missed the Stargate.
Yeah, Tasteless. We got to lock in, Paddy. Okay, we got to.
2 pylons, and so here he didn't quite dive deep enough with that Reaper. I guess he didn't want to risk losing it to the Adept, but he could have gone in towards that mineral line and just seen the full aura range, the power field of the pylon. If he had just gone a little bit closer to that assimilator, he would know it's a Stargate because this is a little bit off the beaten path in PvT. People almost always go Twilight. That used to be for Blink. Now oftentimes it's Charge first in a Blink. But Trigger just going straight into the Phoenix.
So very quickly here, jumping into this, when it comes to these Stargate openers, they're a little bit more common when it comes to larger maps. So think of Winter Madness, think of Celestial Enclave, think of sometimes even Ruby Rock. Sorry, not Ruby Rock, I would just say Old Republic. So this is not unusual, but it is uncommon in that sense, right? And it is important that Cure scouts, and Cure, he failed to scout. We have Phoenix is backing up the main base. Cure is getting ready for a wood mine drop, and this might just hard counter and completely shut down the mine drop because he's going to go in unaware as to what's waiting for him in the main base. Right now, Trigger, he wants to wait to reveal his hand once the wood mines do arrive to be able to trade as efficiently as possible, then bam, counterattack and deal some economic damage.
I guess one of the most common
PvP
builds you see, right? Like as you were saying earlier, like we see Stalker with Blink and Robo a lot more often. We also know that Cure, I feel like this guy always Widowmine drops. Every game.
He loves Widow Mine drops.
Yeah.
He loves aggressive maneuvers, just no matter what they are. It's either a Widow Mine drop or it's like a siege tank push with 3 barracks and no starport.
Right.
Oh man, this pylon not being done yet means it doesn't actually have the vision to spot this, but he might have actually just seen it somewhere
Shuts it
else.
down.
The Phoenix are going to intercept this. Medevac gets taken out.
And we spoke about it. Cure, he played blind. Mind drop gets shut down.
How did he know that was there?
He must have just glimpsed of the Adept or something, but...
Yeah, or maybe he knows that a lot of times you use the Hellion to basically like scout for
that could also be
the
it.
medevac drops. You're like, oh, he's coming from this side because the Hellion, like, why is there a lone Hellion, you know, scraping the very side of the map here?
I mean, if they're asking why the Phoenixes were outside of the naturals, because there's a spot of pylon outside of the main. Like this, there's a pylon covering there, so he has time to react back.
On that, and, you know,
so he could just be at the natural.
He doesn't always do damage with those Widow Mine drops. A lot of times, like, they each kill 1 or 2 probes, and maybe he loses a Widow Mine. But that did literally nothing. Like, he lost 2 Widow Mines and a medevac for free.
Yeah, Trigger basically accomplished what the objective of the early game build was, which is to secure a very fast 3rd base.
And the goal here should be to go for the bait, to go into Phoenix Colossus, so far picking up an SCV and delaying some of the production, and containing Cure. That's the goal here for the Phoenixes, contain.
That up with ease, and now he's able to really build up his economy. 3rd base is going to be done in just a moment. Twilight Council now finished. Charges getting researched. We have the Robo Bay nearly done as well. And so the composition for Trigger in a couple of minutes is going to be a ton of Charge Zealots, an Immortal or 2, and then the Colossi. And that's right around the time that Cure should also be power spiking. But Trigger's just going to be, I think, a little bit bigger because those Phoenix are able to get him all of this control in the early game.
I think it's important to, like, emphasize on what they just said, and what I mean by that is that because these Phoenixes are containing Cure, because there's no threat of counterplay or drop play specifically, Trigger can cut corners. He can delay warp-ins. He can delay warp-ins, go for extra gateways, go for faster upgrades, get your 3rd base up and running, get your 4th base on the way as well. Like, you can cut corners knowing that you should be safe, but Cure does move out as the Phoenixes moved into the main. Here he comes. It's a big risk here, but Cure, he needs to find some damage.
Here. And so sometimes a 2-base push, in my opinion, can be one of the stronger moves against early.
And Trigger, he just saw.
There's no way
he just saw the push
to really deal with like a massive amount of
double drop into the main.
They're better at kind of harassing and picking off drops.
Cure going for a split push. There's a recall.
Drop now going
and can Trigger hold on?
Here at Trigger that will be heading into the main
Has he been
base.
too greedy?
Recall back home.
He might have.
Here also attacking the 3rd right now with a bit of bio. Marines just completely vacating the main mineral line. So
yeah,
4 probes going down, a lot of lost mining. I don't even know if we have enough warp-ins here for Trigger to actually clean this up. He is able to parry the attack at the 3rd base, but Widow Mine's also getting good shots. And honestly, if
Colossus are exposed
right now, I think you just take down those 2 Colossi.
Yeah, they're exposed. He can dive in. He can dive. He will. Oh my god.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I thought he was just going to do one big push at the front, but the drop just separated what Trigger needed. Excuse me, let me rephrase that. It separated the army to where really the weakness was just exposed there. He's gonna
at this point, Curie's done it. He's just snowballing out of control. He breaks Trigger. He pulls him apart. Again, winding it back. It was a big risk for Cure to push across the map while the Phoenixes were distracted. We spoke about how Trigger, the role of the Phoenixes were to keep Cure contained, and he failed to do so. He failed to contain the Terran. Cure, it was a big risk, but he did sneak out across the map, but he just pulled Trigger apart. We spoke about it. Trigger, who was being greedy. He was skipping warp-ins. He was focusing on building up. I don't blame him, but he did miss the move out, and that did cost him the game.
We're going to be on the map with a Phoenix to deal with any drops, but he caught Trigger being a little bit greedy with the Phoenix positioning.
Yeah, they got
2
there.
medevacs into the main base.
they got there. It's all good.
With a double drop, and everything just kind of started falling apart.
Yeah, and it's not that Trigger can't recover, but it's going to be hard. A lot of times when you see a whole wave of robo units wiped out, Colossi, Immortals, but even like, you know, War Prisms and a couple of Observers, stuff like that, it really does hit like a big reset button for Protoss. They've got to start to rebuild that. And in this game, he only has 1 Robo. Not that he's supposed to have 2, but obviously it just takes so long to increment that all out. And I'm worried that the second wind up and attack.
So what they're getting at here is that just because of the way the production works for Protoss, specifically when it comes to high-tech units, losing all your Colossus like that, not just that, but losing the economy, I would say that's more important. He lost, what, 30 probes? Like 30 workers went down. Like that was critical damage. It takes so long to rebuild, and right now Trigger is spending all of his resources rebuilding what he lost instead of Cure, who's building up towards a second wave, towards a stronger army, towards a more efficient army as well. We got two upgrades on the way. We got a second push moving out. I would say that Cure has to calm down a little bit here when it comes to frontal assaults, but Cure is in a very strong position.
I think Trigger right now, he's going to be leaning heavily on the 3 sentries for Force Field to try and really bisect this army, just separate it in half, isolate a couple of Marauders so that he can take little bits and chunks of the bio away. Otherwise, I'm worried he's going to get kited into oblivion here.
Yeah, you can see he's trying to bait him into that mine.
I still haven't played the remaster.
Here, right? Okay, but he knows. He sees what's happening. Okay, so he.
When did that come out?
Right now, Kira 156 supply.
God, we just have no time. We're just casting too much StarCraft. One day,
Pappy, one day. Now for Cure, Vikings growing in numbers, and I think once he gets enough of these Vikings on the map, he can just go, because Trigger, he's adding in even a second robotics now. It's really just these Robobay units that are his DPS. Besides that, he has a couple of Zealots, a couple of Stalkers, but no Forge upgrades. The first Forge just now started here for Trigger, so
yeah, this is so bad.
In terms of damage, there's so little.
I think the basic...
So touching on what they're kind of getting at here is that, again, Trigger, he's far behind when it comes to upgrades itself, when it comes to production. Trigger is now working towards disruptors, and technically this is a way to recover. You can be down 20-30 supply and you can make up for that with some well-placed Novas. Obviously it's not reliable, it's a big risk, it's a big gamble, but I mean that's what Trigger has to do in this position, right? Because he's so far behind, you have to try to take some risks. I would like to see some War Prism harass, I'd love to see some Zealot run-bys, some attempted aggression across the map, timed with Cure's push, and of course trying to rely on those disruptors as well. There is a chance, but again, it is a very slim chance. In a sense, we're kind of hoping, or Trigger's hoping, that Cure makes mistakes. Right? He's hoping that Cure makes mistakes, that Cure does slip up, and in doing so, tries to capitalize on those mistakes.
The gateway units here for Trigger are not going to be pulling their weight.
Okay, beautiful EMP. It hits like literally every unit that's there. Disruption shot, good dodge there from Cure. That could have cost him everything. But Cure is going to advance on this position here, and we're in between disruptor shots. One more Colossus goes down. And Colossi getting focus fire down.
Raising the army.
Going into the natural expansion.
Oh, Nova goes up.
Ooh, good
the
split
one
there
goes.
by Cure. It is able to catch one of
he lands the Vikings. He's going for it. The Nova.
Is going to connect on a lot of bio, but there's just so much left.
Yeah, it's not enough. GG.
GG is called, and Cure's going to take game number 1 here in this best of 5.
That was insane. Cure just like so strong back there.
GG, well played. Again, it was a big risk, a big gamble. What did this come down to? This came down to Cure's push. In the face of all these Phoenixes, in the face of this supposed map control, he was able to sneak out on the right-hand side, get across the map, and that was on Trigger for failing to spot the move out. He was supposed to have gained map control. He decided to go into the main base for some economic damage. He got some SCVs, like 2 or 3 SCVs, but that did allow Cure to get across the map, to get into the main base, to split apart the army of Trigger. GG. GG, well played. He was torn apart, and with that Cure, he does claim the first game, and we'll see how our players do adjust coming to game number 2. Meanwhile, Chesh in the chat. Felices, papi, felices. Bienvenidos. Shema.
I mean, that was perfectly played by Cure. The one weakness that you have there with the Phoenix opening is that you just don't have a lot of firepower on the ground for a long period of time. And so as Trigger, you kind of need to rely on the static defense of the third base with the shield batteries. You also need to rely on the Phoenix being able to intercept medevac drops like that. But Cure was able to catch Trigger with the Phoenix on Cure's side of the map and just shimmy 2 medevacs right into the main base.
I wonder why he didn't get it forges at all until it was very late. Like normally you see a game like that and you go, okay, well something's prompt. Like, is he going to try to all in from here or what? I don't know why you'd go Phoenixes and then just not have the upgrades, because you're not going to be viable at all if you don't.
I bet the timing was intended to be a lot quicker, but he knew that he was in such dire straits that if he didn't pour everything into just getting the probes back to the third base and the main base resaturated and building an army, he's going to die.
I feel like sometimes Protoss just get the forge before that attack happens, but maybe the idea from Trigger was he actually wants to come out and just
let's go Trigger.
Really,
doesn't it out?
Early with a push, but instead he ended up losing 2.
But yeah, I got to back up state a little bit here. So Tay says he's harping a little bit on the fact that, like, you know, Trigger, why did he get his forges so late? I mean, the reason why he got his forges so late was because he had taken critical damage. He was going Phoenix Colossus, going into Colossus production, building up into the mid game, eventually into forges. But the reason why they were so delayed is because of all the earlier losses that he sustained with his economy and with his Colossus, of course. And State was trying to say that in a nicer way. He was he was trying to like pull him in that direction. Meanwhile, does he scout? No, he does. No.
Oh no! So Trigger's gonna cancel 1 gateway, and he's gonna try and play a normal game out of this.
Trigger.
There's nothing worse than when they spot it while it's warping in.
Not like this.
Well, now you know my plan.
I think it's a smart move against Kira because Kira can be quite greedy with the SCV scout in a lot of games. He will not do it sometimes in TVP, and you could just get away with a proxy gateway and basically just win the game outright if Kira's a little bit too greedy. With
so running it back, it was going to be a proxy 2 gate, double Zealot into double Stalker to apply pressure, punish a greedy build, and overwhelm. Kira scouts, so he does force a cancel, and Kira can just settle in.
I mean, you'll definitely experience this like in ladder or something, right? There's all sorts of scumbag builds like this, but he's going to come down now, and you know, this can really throw the whole game off. You're extremely vulnerable when this doesn't hit with a surprise, you know? And so Trigger's going to expand behind it. Trigger's got to be careful. I mean, his only infrastructure for attacking units is out in the middle of the map. The bunker's going to be done. StarCraft 2 Zealots, when they're not upgraded, are almost totally useless. Like, it's really hard, unless you were going to cheese, you know, like he was going to do in this game. It's really hard to do anything with them, you know.
It's delaying.
They're not fast. They can be kited. And I guess this is the best you can ask for here with the Zealot, is like to try to...
I gotta step in. So Trigger, the reason why he left one gateway finishing, and I think that's kind of what Tasteless is like questioning. He was like, why did he even let it finish? Why is he making a Zealot instead of trying to set it back at home? I mean, he was already committed. He was already so delayed to try to get a delayed gateway back at home instead. As you can see, this Zealot, what's he doing? He's delaying the CC, right? He's delaying the CC even here coming in. The SCV almost does go down, actually. So nice pick off. So again, Trigger, he's making the best out of a bad situation, delaying the economy, but more importantly, delaying Cure. All these units could be moving out across the map, but they're stuck at home, dealing with the Adept, dealing with the Zealot, allowing Trigger to attempt to macro. Don't get me wrong, Trigger is in a rough position, but like, he has to be this aggressive, he has to be this assertive, otherwise there's nothing to stop Cure from moving out. And if he moves out, I mean, that's game.
Especially interested when I watch pro players play and the cheese is spotted, how exactly do they play it? Because there is a right way to play a bad situation. You know what I'm saying? Even though you a lot of times look at games, you go, okay, well, here's where you lost. Your cheese got spotted or your attack failed. A lot of times I like to see how a pro looks at it and goes, well, this is the best bet to try to get yourself out of this hole. You know what I'm saying?
Similarly, I'm really interested in what Kira's going to do, because this is one of those games where, at least in the early game, he just has the complete picture of what his opponent is doing.
Yeah.
What their handicaps are going to be, and how is he going to respond to this? Right now, it seems like just the only deviation really is building the bunker on the low ground.
I like how they have different perspectives here. I would probably agree with State here in the sense that, like, Kira, what's he doing? Well, he's working towards his Cyclone, working towards his medevac. With the arrival of the medevac, he can move out. He can start to move out. He can start to be aggressive, as we're seeing here. Fight for map control and then force Trigger back home. Trigger doesn't really have much back at home to defend. Brutal lock on here. One Stalker does get picked off. The Adept as well, down to 2 Stalkers.
Where you have that infrastructure push. This is the problem.
Ooh,
okay, he
gets a
actually
Cyclone?
gets the... Oh,
okay.
You know what? Wow.
That shouldn't have happened.
If you lose the Cyclone, you've lost everything. Basically, the Marines are here to kind of be a meat shield. And then the Cyclone, it's basically superior at fighting compared to the Stalkers. But that shut down. Anyways, what I was saying a second ago is that you see this infrastructure push, right? This is where you're going to hit the gateway in the middle of the map, and a lot of times you can push after that. But Trigger had a pretty big victory there. He basically fought back really well. And now Trigger has to try to stay active out here. He can try to shark around the map as much as he can. He's going to take a third base, so he's not committed into like any kind of 4-gate. Let's blink in the main with a Warp Prism. Let's try to end the game that way, which I think would have also been a fine way to play. But instead, he's going to go for a macro play. He's going to try to defend that gateway as much as possible. He's going to get a third gate, a third Nexus up is what I meant to say. But, you know, the drop could be very punishing. This will at least force a recall.
Yeah, is there going to be a recall available in the main base? How much energy?
Yeah, the medevac studio get in. He's going for economic damage. Again, he does not have stim. There's the recall.
So
should
those
just
Blink
pick up.
Stalkers, the 2 Marines is getting left out here. Unfortunate for them. Weren't even able to take down a pro.
And behind this, working towards stim, building up the tanks. Cure should be pushing on 2 bases. But until then, we're just chilling.
I don't mind his position much at all. I feel like Cure losing the Cyclone there when he pushed into the gateway with all those Stalkers and the Adept. That should have been a win for Cure, but the Cyclone is just so important in that fight. Maybe it was a mistake not to push out before the medevac before he can, you know, pick up units like the Cyclone to dodge the Stalker shots. But in any case, now Trigger has a lot of Stalkers here in the middle of the map, and Cure wants to push. He has 3 barracks. He has no third command center. but I don't think he's going to be able to get there. There's just too many Stalkers and Kai. And the blink forward by Trigger, able to snipe.
Catches the on siege.
Tank. I don't know why he's pushing out here at all. This is like a great way to basically lose the game, is to like siege up with a tank and no, you know, no way to get out, basically, right? Like, you know, no stims done. Like, why would you move out now?
I feel like he just didn't expect Trigger to have quite so much. And
I mean, he got a Stalker initially. Like, he just got caught on siege.
He forced a recall. He thought, okay, you're not going to be here at all now. But, like, you know, when you have slow Marines and tanks sieged up, if you can't retreat. So, like, now you're stuck here. Now you have to, like, literally win or die on this hill, you know?
Yeah.
No. What?
So yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit sloppy there by Kier. Kier's going to keep this Raven out here.
Like, it was risky, I would say that. It was risky for Kier, but remember, Kier, like, he was initially winning that engagement. It was just he got caught on siege. Like, when he on siege, that's when Trigger was able to pounce in. You could definitely argue that Kier, he gave Trigger an opportunity he didn't need to. And this is really good for Trigger because he's getting these small incremental wins. He denied the drop in the main base. He caught the first tank outside of the natural as well. Like, these are nice little wins that Trigger does need getting into a longer game state.
And the game's quieting down a little bit. Kier is still building up towards a push. Oh, man. Doesn't quite get that medevac.
Yeah, nice save there. And he really wants to just
Stim
kill
is done.
this gateway off here. And so he's finally going to get it. Again, you know, we're far enough along in this game. This doesn't really matter. It's going to be a Zealot warp in here. Or, okay, yeah, it is going to be that. I was like, it's the old one Zealot worker harass.
If Trigger's watching, might be able to dodge these Widowmine shots.
Is he going to get both? Nope. One hit away.
Nice.
Okay, nice dodge.
Micro by Trigger. And again, this is
Curie turns right back home to defend. This will delay.
End the game because he's still on 2 bases. There is no third command center here for Kier. Trigger has been on 3 bases for quite a while now, and he has been probing up. He is basically just hunkered down on all the mineral patches, and he's building an army to crush the push of Kier. And any seconds that he can buy is gold. And I think Kier might be realizing that his window right now is just closing.
Ooh, throws away the
He's
Raven.
been able to buy too much time, so he's going to throw down the 3rd CC.
Yeah, so he's going to try to do a push here. And this is going to get
So Trigger, he caught the Raven. That's another small win for Trigger. He just spots the army with the Zealots. Trigger, he sees, and can he catch the army on siege? He's going for it. He's going for the dive.
I mean, he should have enough, right?
Yeah, Widow Mines don't even get to burrow. And the Zealots are going to peel right on back. Really good fight here.
Yeah, Kier's overextending. Kier's overextending. Now we have Colossus. Kier should not be here at this point.
Blink on cooldown, and
he has to get. He has to back up.
Again. Looks like he's antsy.
He has to get out of here.
Fight. Blinks forward. Not quite able to snipe that medevac.
Okay, so
Kier's getting. Oh.
You got to be careful here. Is Kier? There's enough stalkers you can't just pick up, right? The stalkers will blink under. Same time, you don't want to overextend. This is Trigger going on to his 4th base about to finish, where the 3rd command center is going to be landing.
So from here, at this point, from the earlier losses that Trigger had, he's recovered, I would say. Like, at this point, he's recovered. Like, now we have a back and forth. Trigger, he's built up to Colossus. Now it's going to be in Trigger to potentially delay the 3rd base, and Curie is going to be stuck at home. The game is going to slow down. We're slowing things down. We're turtling up. We should be seeing missile turrets, sensor towers, more CCs, more bunkers.
Because eventually you're going to be so big the Terran can't kill you. And so... and Kier, in some ways, put himself in this position by trying to be, I think, a little bit too in the Protoss's face post-failed proxy.
Oh. Another drop coming into the natural expansion here of Kier. Fire's going to stand back to try and deal with it. This doesn't create an opening.
Like how State doesn't even address what Taysa just said.
He's looking for a position here between the natural and the 3rd base. Big stim. Oh, man,
he blinks in. Wait, what?
Now, able to focus fire down one of these siege tanks. Widowmine shot.
He blinked into the army. That was so many stalkers going down.
Too much bio here for Trigger to handle. Did he bite off more than he could chew?
Oh my God.
Hero, was that you?
The Protoss army
Hero, get out of here.
Oh my God! What exactly happened back there?
He blinked in.
It seemed like he I guess he thought he had the right angle, but excuse me. Kier's so good in these moments. Trigger's basically winning for almost the entirety of this game.
Yeah.
And, you know, that one overextension melted everything that he had.
I mean, it was just the perfect fight there for Cure.
Yeah, and now the Terran's going to try to come and slice.
So winding it back, Trigger, he did a great job when it came to recovering after being behind the entire game. But we saw that Trigger, he did misjudge. He blinked into the army. It was crazy. He blinked into the stimmed Marauders. Like, it was insane. With that, Trigger, he lost all his Stalkers. He bled out his Zealots. Like, it was a really, really rough fight there for Trigger. Now everything just snowballs out of control. Cure is going for a massive counterattack. He breaks the Colossus. He breaks through.
I think Trigger might just be able to stabilize right now with the photon cannon and the shield batteries, but Cure has so much production, and there's not a lot of damage here with this Protoss army.
Yeah, and I mean, right now, Trigger has to hold this. He's going to sack all of his probes to tank damage. There's still enough. A few more Terran units trickle in. A Liberator sets up shop. A second one comes in here as well. The infantry are almost entirely thinned out, but the Colossus is now zoned away. The rest of the infantry are going to dive up to the north. They're going to hit this Nexus, and remember, the next target is just one screen away to the right.
The Nexus is going to get taken out. Cure equalizing the economies now.
Oh, he'd actually, I'm sorry, you know, I was watching.
He doesn't know.
I guess we saw that, and I didn't register it in my brain. He doesn't actually know there's a base, so he might think that he's 3 base to 2 base right now.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Like,
yeah.
Like,
okay,
Trigger's
so
just, sorry, Cure's just going to kill anyway. Like, Cure is still committing.
Man,
He breaks the third.
That.
Blink forward by Trigger, able to take down one of these Liberators. He might even get the
Oh,
second one there on the
Zealot.
retreat. Oh, the Zealot, yeah.
Zealot comes like nothing to see here. Goes back. Now, did he actually? Okay, now he sees Zealots coming from that side. He should suspect there's something up there.
Yeah, I think he should have a very good idea that there's another expansion, but for now, he's going to be falling back, and Trigger's still just sitting. Okay, he does take a 4th gas. He's still playing a very low eco game, and the second starport really is going to cause some problems here for Trigger if Cure starts incrementing out Liberators, because
Well, I mean,
Trigger has enough gas to get forge upgrades.
Trigger's pretty all in. Trigger's pretty all in at this point. Trigger, he's down in workers, he's down in economy, he's even on bases, which means that he's behind. Cure, that's why he has such a big disparity when it comes to supply. He's building up. There's nothing pressuring Cure to push out. He doesn't have to hit that top right base. Like, he's chilling. He's chilling, building up a greater army, and hitting a 2-2 timing instead.
600-700 more minerals a minute right now for Trigger.
Like, there's no pressure on
Cure
Cure.
might need to lift one of these CCs. Okay, we know he does have one more finishing between the natural and the third.
Okay. Well, Trigger's going to try to stabilize here. He's going to send this Warp Prism in. There's actually Marines unloading right here. Well, this is funny looking. Okay. Well, Trigger's attack has been totally thwarted. And again, you know, now we're in the phase where there are a lot of Vikings coming out. I guess he's got one starport with a reactor, unless the second one is not active. But, you know, there's enough Vikings here. Look, I mean, there's like more Vikings than there are Stalkers on the ground. And, you know, while both the Colossus and the Viking are kind of slow units, I mean, the reality is the Vikings, especially with the larger terrain that the Colossus can't walk over, it's going to be a lot of damage on this Colossus. So,
But yeah, this is why, like, I didn't think it was necessary to put any attention to the fact that Cure didn't know about the top right base, because it doesn't matter. Like, it's like he's still far enough ahead. He's still dominating these fights. He seems on forward. He did get one of the Colossus. There's one Colossus remaining, but there's just nothing on the ground. There's no support, and the final Colossus does fall.
yeah, GG. Wow.
GG.
Okay.
Oh, that was a roller coaster of a game number 2, honestly.
I enjoyed it. Eventually, we got to get like you know, some kind of a recap thing here for RSL, because that's like a moment where I didn't expect the fight to be lost like that badly.
You mean the push into Cure's third base?
That push to Cure's third base.
Yeah, he blinked in.
It just seemed like he leaned in a moment where it was like he got his head bit off. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, that was a decapitation. It was pretty insane, and I kind of understand where Trigger was coming from, because he was playing a 3-gas style, and so, you know, we were talking about previous RSLs, the way that Protoss players would kind of expand across the entire map, and they would fill out their tech tree and become all powerful. Trigger wasn't really doing that. He was still staying on a low probe count. He would just take the expansion so that he's always mining minerals efficiently. He was like 60-something workers, and he only stayed on 3 gas, so he can't afford Storm. He can't really afford a second Forge for upgrades. He's building a lot of Zealots, is basically what he's doing. And so he's angling for a timing attack, and he thought with the Warp Prism that he was opening up a window to do it. And perhaps He was, but Kier's positioning was just so good.
Yeah.
That Trigger could not break through into that third base. The entire army gets toppled.
Kind of. I think I would push back against the kind of framing that they're going for here. So winding it back, if you recall, winding back when it comes to the game itself, Trigger, he was in a rough position. Trigger, he was behind. He went for a failed proxy. He ended up losing map control very early on as well. And it was really impressive to see Trigger recover. I want to give credit to Trigger there. He did a great job catching the tank in the center, catching out the Raven as well, deflecting the initial drop. Like Trigger, he was recovering in that game, and we were building up in towards the mid game. I do see a comment in the chat. Trigger seemed he didn't hear you saying the game was about to slow down. I mean, the game was about to slow down, and then Trigger committed into the third, and by committed, he blinked into the army. It was crazy. He blinked forward into the siege line, into the Stim Marauders, and he lost all of his Stalkers. Bearing in mind that Stalkers are the backbone of your army, you want Zealots to lead the charge typically. The only time you ever want Stalkers to blink in is to catch medevacs or to maybe focus on some tanks, but he blinked into Marauders. So it felt like maybe Trigger, he misjudged the situation, misjudged how much he was pushing into, and he lost everything in the process there. And the game did kind of end then and there, unfortunately. Trigger, like, he had just taken too many losses. As they kind of alluded to a little bit, Trigger, he wasn't really, he didn't have the economy behind it to try to recover or to tech up from there. It was just too heavy a loss, and GG. GG, well played. With that, Cure is up 2-0, and we're hoping for a back and forth. We're hoping for a game 4 and a game 5, but Cure is on match points. One more game, and Cure will claim the series. So best of luck to our two players here. We're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have game number 3 between Cure and Trigger. See you soon. See you soon. Bye. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the lower bracket quarterfinals here of the RSL, the Revival Soccer League Season 4 Playoffs Day number 5. We are here, we are back, and we are currently mid-series. Currently, Cure is up 2-0. He's up 2-0 versus Trigger. This is a best of 5, and we are hoping that we get a longer series, right? I'm hoping for a back and forth. I won a game 4, I won a game 5, but the pressure is on Trigger, and we'll see if we can bring it back. Next up is going to be Old Republic. That is going to be game 3. We'll see if Trigger can recover and make a series out of this. Again, I will say that Trigger had opportunities in that last game, but it was also a really rough start. If you remember, Trigger, he began with a proxy 2 gate, and he got scouted, and he got shut down, and Trigger had to fight so hard to even recover and bounce back in that game, and he was for the most part able to. Like, I was very impressed by that, but even then, we saw Trigger just pressured to push in, did overextend, took a bad fight. GG. But here we go, getting into game number 3.
Whereas I look at Cure as someone who's kind of stronger in the first 5 to 8 minutes, you know, doing these early pushes. So maybe if Trigger can kind of ride out the early game, get into a good position, he'll be able to fight back here. The map is going to be Old Republic. You got Cure down here in the bottom left and Trigger in the top right.
Yeah. Shout out to Cure. Cure representing Team Liquid, Trigger representing Basilisk. As we load into the Old Republic is a bit of a larger map in the map pool, but it has a very exposed 4th base and a bit of a more open 3rd as well. Does often lead to 3 base aggression, but we'll see how our players do mix things up.
But of course, he has a ton of builds. He can do a ton of different things, and also Cure might do something crazy. You know, we've seen him do Widowmine drops, standard Terran play, but he can pull out some wild stuff as well. Right now, it's just a single gas for him as he gets the barracks online.
Sooner or later, someone is always bound to overstep in a fight, but Trigger seems generally more fond of letting Jesus take the wheel. No, I don't know, but I don't think so. Like, when I think of Trigger, I think of someone who's a little bit more mid-game oriented. We had, to be fair, recently, when I say recently, I mean like maybe over the past couple of months. You know what? This year, I'll say that this year so far, Trigger has been more aggressive than he has in the past, where, especially in PvP, we've been seeing a lot of cheese out of Trigger, a lot of aggression, a lot of all-ins, and even in some of these more preparation-based matches, we have seen some more kind of like aggressive and assertive builds out of Trigger with a lot of timing attacks. Like, we've been seeing a lot of intentionality out of Trigger as of late. So I will say that that is true as of late, but at the same time, like, I don't know if that has much to do with last game. Like, last game, like, I don't know, like, Trigger, like, maybe it's also just because of the game state, because he was playing from behind for so long that, like, Trigger felt the need to, like, attack, and he felt too far behind. Obviously, he doesn't know that, he doesn't see what we see, and I at least felt like there was the opportunity to try to drag things out into a longer game and not be in a bad position. It's kind of hard to say, but hopefully we can, like, calm things down a little bit here, and we'll see how Trigger approaches game 3.
You have some options once you do go into Blink, so we'll see what he's cooking up. Going to be a reactor down on the barracks here, as well as the factory going up. Reaping out just goes past that shade, so he knows the Adept is in the main. Trigger actually finishes the shade.
Yeah, I'm surprised he finished that. The Stalker is about 60% done, but this Reaper, I think, is going to at least get a lot of mining time and maybe even a probe or 2. No, he is going to pull back. Doesn't want to test it.
Behind this is going to be a Twilight Council open out of Trigger, so we're calming down. And fun fact, for the first time this series, we're playing Standard. for the very first time this series, we're playing Standard. Remember, Game 1 was Stargate, Game 2 was Proxy, now Game 3, Twilight Council first. On the flip side, we have Cure going for an economic opener into a 1-1-1. We'll keep an eye on Cure.
Yeah, he's got some of the best blink control in the business,
Yes.
although he has been favoring Charge a lot recently in PvT, so it could be either. The way the minerals and gas are looking, though, I am leaning towards Blink just like you. We'll see how this is going to go. What is the tech going to be? It's Blink.
Yeah, Charge is rare. Charge you often see on smaller maps. I wouldn't expect to see Charge on Ultra Holic. Wouldn't expect it.
Right now.
Yeah, Cure just going to be saturating
usually more map
expansion
dependent.
in a moment as the orbital is all finished.
Yeah, we have a Cyclone follow-up here as well. That worked well in the last game, able to take out that proxy gateway eventually. Going to pick off a Marine here, and back up is the Adept. More Marines come down to the natural, so we'll be safe for the moment.
Yeah, and I think Trigger's going to be eyeing a 3rd base in just a moment as well. He's going into an additional gateway, adding in the robotics facility here on the low ground. He seems well postured to take another expansion, but, oh, I say that and he takes another gas he throws down at the gateway. Maybe he's sniffing out a little bit of aggression here from Cure because,
So
It could go that way. He definitely wants to get this Reaper.
Trigger, he's going for a bit of a safer build. As the Reaper goes in, it is going to be so far a 3-gate blink into a Robo, into a third, I would imagine.
And the Adept's actually going to get
So safer build out of Trigger
as well. So he'll be able to see that Tech Lab on the starport. Probably presume there's a Raven on the way, which Cure did last game as well. I think it was pretty successful. It got a few probes, did its job. I think it's always a solid investment. And now we see the third base from Trigger.
Yeah, third base coming in now for Trigger. Cure is adding an engineering base, so it's not going to be a super heavy committed to base push.
It sounded like State was assuming that that Trigger wanted to deny the scout to go for a 4th gateway, but based on the timings and based on the lack of gateway, it did seem more like 3-gate blink into a third. So just really safe play out of Trigger.
Start to push towards that third base. And you gotta be able to kite with these blink stalkers all the way across the map, otherwise it will just be so punishing.
Yeah, and Trigger's so good with these Blink Stalkers. So decisive as well. One of the most decisive Protosses, I feel like. If he sees a tank out of position, he'll instantly blink on it, pick it off, that kind of thing. We see the charged follow-up.
Yeah, sometimes he doesn't see a unit out of position. He blinks it anyway. True. It's
throwing down some more gateways here as he just starts
and
to
it kills
power
him
up here in the mid-game. Stim and +1 on the way for Cure. It's just a single eBay here. Here comes the Raven. Going to start to do a little bit of harassment.
Nice positioning.
Outer Search should be able to get at least 1 probe here. Might even get a second. Yeah, it's 2 probe kills.
3?
Get 3. No, not quite 3.
Whew.
Yeah, he can send that again later, or he can send it to the third.
What they're getting at here, Trigger, he's laying a splash damage in favor of charge, into a gateway heavy composition. Likewise, once again, good positioning.
Raven. Oh, just lives. What's the HP on that? Oh, just 8.
Yeah, stalkers tickle Ravens, man. Ravens never die to stalkers, let me tell you.
Yeah, that is the bane of Protoss players. That Raven just hanging out in the airspace forever, won't leave.
Scouts a third.
This Observer does see the third base as soon as it goes down. Nice scout for Trigger, but we'll lose the Observer.
Yeah, it's important to see that third base because that's going to give you an idea of how committed the Terran is going to be. Whether there's a natural or a third base or not, Terran is still going to likely push towards your third base just because that's the way that the build tends to go. It's the best use of the units that you've had, especially those siege tanks, is typically to go for this push.
Ooh, I like this Stalker here, just spotting the move out of this double drop. So he knows about this very early. We'll have to run away with these Stalkers, but he sees the push coming. He's getting a single Forge at home for 1 upgrade, not being super greedy with 2 Forges. First Colossus on the way, as well as Thermal Lance. And if he could just pick off a couple units here, that would be really nice with these Stalkers.
Yeah, so far, well done here by Trigger. He's slowing this down, picking away at the army, chipping away at the Marines, and ensuring that he delays the push to buy time for a Colossus.
Right up there on the production tab.
Oh, can this Raven get in here once more? We'll see the 4th base. A nice scout putting this Raven to use. Curious moving
pushing
across the map right now. And he's even going to stim and try and... I mean, that was quite an ambitious
Baits a stim.
Let's check the Stalkers aren't laying in wait there.
Nice out of Trigger.
Kieran has his eyes set on
So it's the army.
4th base here of Trigger. Colossus just finished up. Thermal Lance nearly done.
Trigger getting in position. Zelta here, Colossus as well. He's ready. He wants the tanks. He wants them. He gets them.
Right away, the siege tank
oh my God.
will fall to these Zealots, and the Colossus getting some good hits here. The initial engagement looks great for Trigger.
Yeah, that was a beautiful engagement there for Trigger. Colossus getting the shots in that they needed. Guardian Shield was right on.
Honestly, I'm surprised that Cure committed, right? Cure, he knew that he got scouted. He knew that he was being led all the way across the map, and Cure still went for it anyway, and Cure gets punished. It's punished.
Kira back at home, he has been expanding. The third base is now being morphed into an orbital, so he's continuing to power up. And now Trigger, that he's been able to deflect that first push, he can start to do the same thing. You see him adding in the second forge, you see him adding in additional production facilities in terms of the gateways. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him take 1 or 2 more gases and eventually try to work up towards something like Storm, but if he decides to play it in a similar fashion to the way he did in game number 2, we might just see him build a Warp Prism after this next Colossus and really start to amp up the aggression.
Yeah, indeed. I think he lost another Observer there, so he might want to make one of those at some point. He is a Warp Prism queued up, so we see that. Right now, Trigger's posturing at the front, just checking this Terran army is not caught out of position. The Vikings are ready, though. Trigger will just back up for the moment. I like that he's going into double forge as well. Get those upgrades going 2 at a time. Really try and get ahead in the mid and late game.
So getting into this Trigger, he is getting his Warp Prism to apply some pressure here. There might be an opening at the third base, but I mean, bringing up the double forge does tell us that Trigger is building up into a longer game, right? We're slowing things down in a sense. We're getting into a longer macro game. Curious so far is in position, but now we have a third Colossus. Can Trigger break this?
topple.
He's going for it.
Pushes so far in this series.
He's committing.
Trigger's going to continue poking forward. And Kira might at some point just lift this orbital and pull the SCVs and go in for the engagement. I'm not sure if he has the Viking count to do that just yet, because there are 3 Colossi.
Where's that prism? We're waiting for the war prism.
Because otherwise, you know, your SCVs are going to get decimated for
it's
basically
not coming
nothing, right? With all that firepower. But as it is, Trigger just continuing to try and shave away a couple of bio units here and there, filling out the tech tree. Now we see disruptors being added in, more gateways, a Templar archive.
And never mind. So Trigger, he just pokes in, pulls away, builds up more upgrades. I thought they mentioned that there was a war prism in production, but I guess not, unless it's just now joining. There it is. Took a while.
You're not being dropped in the main like we saw in game 1. You're not being flanked or anything like that. You know exactly what your opponent's doing. Maybe you don't want to overextend. He's doing a very good job of not doing that, just picking off what is safe to get and then backing up when he needs to.
Yeah, I have to be very careful here as Trigger, though, because if Kira eventually decides to go for the engagement, those Colossi are going to have a hard time retreating. So you kind of have to commit to the fight if you go for it here. And Storm isn't online.
War prism has arrived.
Just now finished up.
Trigger, he's max. Now is the time.
Is this just going to be for Archives? Okay, no, we do have Storm being researched. So eventually there will be AoE back at home here for Trigger. Should Kira win the fight defensively?
There's so many Vikings, though.
Boros is continuing to push in towards this 3rd base. This is the main mining base right now here for Kira.
Yeah, Kira cannot lose this base. Disruptor Shot just gets a single Marine there. The Marauder's stim forward's going to start to chip away at these Zealots, and neither side wants to fully go for this, but eventually someone will have to. The Vikings onto the Colossus right now. Blink back from Trigger. Does he want to actually take this fight? Colossus low in HP, both in the orange here. I'm not sure who this fight is good for. It feels like it should be good for Cure, but Trigger just keeping him at home right now.
No, this is so this is
very difficult as the Protoss player in this situation.
They say it's better for Kira. Like Trigger, he's trading. That's the goal here, to trade with the army while he gets a better economy, right? He's taking more bases, taking more expansions. Trigger just has to be very careful not to lose any high-tech units as he pulls away.
It's basically all minerals, very little gas. As Kira's going to be pushing the issue. He's actually going to fight right here in front of the 3rd base. No storms yet. Vikings are able to take down every single Colossus.
Ooh, gets all 3.
In, but I think between all of them, there's maybe only 1 or 2 storms.
Wow, such a decisive fight here so far, but here come the High Templar. Can they change things? One falls immediately. So
finally, they have enough energy.
Yeah, the storms go down, but nice dodges here by Cure, keeping a lot of his army alive, even if it is low HP.
Yeah, finally, man, I was worried when those Templars showed up because there was only one that was really warped in quite.
Yeah, and a really rough fight for Trigger. Trigger losing all 3 Colossus. I don't know if you noticed, but Trigger, he committed to the fight, but he didn't actually bring his Prism in, so he couldn't micro. Like, he couldn't juggle back his Colossus. Otherwise, he could have been there to micro back, to preserve his Colossi, to get extra damage done as well, and to be able to add that extra complexity to his army. But the Prism wasn't a part of it. Was not a part of the main fight. He lost all 3 Colossus, and with that, Trigger is now in a rough position, considering Cure successfully expands.
Looking for. Storm goes down, not too much. That High Templar will fall. Nice spread out of the army here by Cure. A big arc all the way in front of this base right now. Gotta be careful with these High Templars. They're going so far forward. This one will just get away. No, it won't get away. It will fall down. And Trigger trying to push the issue still.
He needs to.
Another Viking right there. This Templar almost has enough.
Like, very quickly, Trigger, he needs to trade. This time, he's only losing Zealots. That's fine, right? Like, as long as he preserves the High Templar and Colossus, this is fine. Zealots that built to be thrown away. Trigger, he has 1,000 minerals in the bank. He wants to trade these Zealots. He wants to trade with the army.
Does not want to give these medevacs any time to gather energy and fully heal up this bio. Is Kira now, he has to really rely on this planetary fortress to anchor the position.
Trigger, he trades well.
Yeah, well,
picking up Marines, picking up Marauders.
Here. He's taking some really good fights, leveraging his better economy over time here. Nice spread out on these Zealots. Can send a few of those into the mineral line if he wants to. Start to hack away at these SCVs, do some economic damage, and Cure backs up, and Trigger takes that chance to kill a ton of these workers. Now going to move in with the Colossus.
He's going in, the SCVs.
Super low, but just surviving.
24, 30.
Almost 30 SCVs go down already, Stave.
Yeah, the entire mineral line's destroyed right now. This Colossus even gets
Trigger's
microed back there by Trigger. There's only one Viking gets taken out. Colossus on maybe 1 HP. The bio still
and
so
Trigger, he's out. He snowballs out of control. He breaks the third expansion, kills 30 SCVs as well. As we were mentioning, it was a good thing for Trigger to be out here to be trading. You had to be careful. It was very scary when they lost the Colossus, but GG gets called and Trigger fights back.
We've got a series, guys. Trigger fights back, like you said. What a game. He was in control for so much of that game. Like, being so aggressive, expanding behind it. And it just felt like there wasn't really a good moment for Cure to take the engagement that he wanted. And then Trigger traded out his units with a better economy. Just fight after fight after fight, ground him down over time.
Yeah, that looked really good for Trigger. And I was a little bit worried when he was starting to posture in front of the third base before he took any additional geysers, because Trigger did that in game number 2. He was in a great position. He was up in expansions. He was up in workers. His mining was better, but he stayed on 3 gases in that game number 2. And as a result, he's like, you know what? I need to commit. So he blinks on top of the siege tanks. He gets cleaned up. Cure fights back. Takes a game 2 that probably Trigger should have won. And then here in game number 3, we're seeing kind of the same story. Trigger went up to 4 bases. He was still staying on 3 gases. But eventually he decided to pivot. He took those gases at the 4th base. He added in the 2nd forge.
Yep.
And that allowed him to apply all of this pressure to Cure, to slow Cure's economic growth, to shave off a couple.
He took those gases in the 2nd forge before the moment that State is talking about.
I feel like that was a very keen insight that he had over game 2.
Just as a heads up. Like, State, he's giving us his rationale as to why he believed that Trigger was in a bad position when it was pushing into the 3rd base. But this, he's talking about him taking gases and getting the forge and stuff. Like, this was a decision made before Trigger moved out. So I'll stand by what I said about how Trigger, no, he was in a good position as long as he didn't lose his Colossus. Now, to be fair, to give credence to State's concerns about Trigger being there, Trigger did lose a Colossus, but that was on Trigger kind of miscontrolling, not having his Prism forward to micro back the units and to save the Colossus. So that was on Trigger. But for the most part, as they were kind of alluding to, bearing in mind, one of the reasons why Trigger was in such a good position was because he collapsed and shut down Cure's first push. That was on Cure for moving out despite being scouted and kited all the way across the map. Trigger, they didn't give too much attention to it, but a lot of this game came down to Trigger doing an amazing job at keeping up with the push, rotating, at chipping away at the army, forcing out the early stim, buying time for the Colossus, buying time for the charge lots, and that was the moment where Trigger gained map control. They kind of glossed over that, but I would focus and fixate on that moment, referring to the first tank push that Cure went for when he lost map control. But let's go. Let's jump in. Let us jump in.
Gotta be, right? I mean, you're not gonna make a
engineering
factory by
block,
itself.
Of course. Okay.
Oh, you're just taking the roundabout way.
Yeah, eBay block.
Yeah. I suppose he wants to avoid the probe coming down to the main pipeline. All right.
Yeah.
Engineering bay block here in the natural expansion. I thought we might have a second proxy barracks there with that gas first,
I wanted
but no,
to see
instead it's
So they're questioning why Cure's SCV went the long way around. Just for context, it is common, it is normal for the SCV to go the long way around when you go for an eBay block, because you don't want the scouting probe to see the SCV coming to get a better idea as the eBay block that it's on the way, right? To get a glimpse of that, because then they can deny the eBay block. So you do want to hide that SCV when you go for the eBay block. It isn't just for like proxies.
Just going to be going into some of them more normal.
And it was successful. Cure, he forces the unnatural natural out of Trigger.
Just gets away there from the Marine.
And I wonder where Cure is going to go with this. It was a gas first opening, which means he can still go for the expansion if he wants to, but his tech is going to be a lot faster than it normally would be. We just had one Marine turned out.
So very quickly, Cure is expanding. They're talking about the faster tech. They're posing the question as to why. We can see reactors on the way. It should be for reactored Hellion. Now, as you can see here, add-on swap into reactored Hellion. The reasoning for this is because Cure, what did he just do? He just forced the unnatural natural. He just forced Trigger to expand in a really awkward position. And what do we always say? It takes 3 Hellions to one-shot a probe. He's gonna have 4. He's gonna have 4 Hellions, and he can threaten those mineral lines, and he could even deal critical damage. Like, if Trigger's unable to keep up with these Hellions, they can end the game.
Could be good. The one thing you can say is that Trigger doesn't have a wall at his natural because he's taking this Nexus down there, so the Hellions might be able to run by if the units are at the 3rd or something. Right now, this Adept goes up to the top of the ramp. Oh, actually shades in back here to the middle. I'm trying to get this SCV. Oh, it will get away as the shot goes onto the Hellion, and the Adept will fall.
Cure going to be repairing that Hellion, so this will buy Trigger a little bit of time, and you can see him just chrono boosting out those Phoenix. The Phoenix dispatch Hellions so quickly once they get lifted because they are light units. They just absolutely shred through them.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to come down to, can the Phoenixes find the Hellions before they get in a mineral line or anything like that? Oh, we're actually transferring
he evacuates
back home here.
Okay.
That's smart by Trigger. He knows that he can't cover both the main base and the 3rd base right now for the Hellions. The Phoenix are just a little bit too late.
And this is the advantage of the eBay block, right? You kind of make the
And
Protoss do
he's
this,
ready to just fully wall up. He's ready for it. He fully walls.
The Hellions try to run by. Phoenixes get the good first pickup.
And now there's nothing at the 3rd.
One Hellion will fall. They run down to the 2nd base here. Only 2 probes, so can be a ton of damage, but they do fall.
Honestly, this might be the one time where it's a good idea to energy recharge a Phoenix. Just to lift up all these Hellions and clean them up, because And the Graviton Beam is really the limiting factor right now in terms of these Phoenix being able to kill all of the Hellions. I wouldn't mind to see it.
No, I would love to.
So honestly, really nice defense here by Trigger. It was a bit of an extreme defense, but he had to, given the kind of early game state. So he shots down the Hellions. Nicely done. As a result, Cure, he's a bit behind because he delayed his expansion.
The question now is, does Trigger start making Phoenixes here? We do see the Twilight going down, so probably in the near future. Maybe this is his last one. And then just try to make use of these, pick off a few SCVs, stop the drop like he did in the other game. Oh, the Hellions actually finally get in, though.
I wouldn't mind if Trigger threw down a couple more Phoenixes, honestly. Just go up to 5 or 6, because it's going to be a long while until you actually have charge done. Oh, man. Come on, Probes. Fight back. Fight back,
Probes.
Oh, 3 probe kills.
There we go.
Cool to arms there, the Probes taking out that Hellion. Another Hellion falls down here as well. So I think overall the defense has been pretty good from from Trigger, excuse me.
Yeah, but the next push is going to be very scary here for Trigger.
Yeah.
I mean, Kier's already got a ton of Marines turned out. This is 3 barracks.
So the downside of opening up Phoenixes, the plus side is that it's a little bit easier to defend against these Hellions, but the downside, of course, is that Phoenixes, they struggle here in this kind of position, as Phoenixes, they hit a lot of hits. Oh no! Z1! He gets one!
Lock-ons here, spreading the damage.
Yeah, I love the double Cyclone here. It makes so much sense to be able
And
to
again,
chase
it's going to be
these
such a
Phoenix
difficult
down,
hold. We have
get
charge on the way, but this should be hitting
just
pre-charge.
tanks, the Phoenixes float around for ages, and it's harder to track those down, so I do like that. We see Stim behind this, making a ton of Marines. Finally now add in a starport, and a charge on the way for Trigger as well.
Yeah, charge's on the way, but only about halfway done.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't even mind some Stalkers getting warped in right here for Trigger, but I don't know how many gateways he actually has online. 2 more gateways are about to finish up. This pylon, the only pylon powering this shield battery, is going to be taken down. And Kira is being a little bit timid about
Stim
this.
is done in 10
If
seconds.
See what we could see, he would be getting a lot more damage done.
No,
right
he's
now.
waiting for
This is
Stim.
a big moment of vulnerability here for Trigger.
Like, they're criticizing Cure for not pushing in, but he's waiting for Stim. Stim is not done. He's going in. He dives.
Stim. The pylon immediately falls. The Protoss army is
And
going
he's
to
doing
engage
it.
it with the probes, but do they have enough firepower? A ton of stuff already going down. The lift up on a few Marines. That Cyclone in the back doing so much damage.
Yeah, he kites so well. He kites so well against Zealots. He breaks into the mineral line. Phoenixes are being focused on one after the other. They cannot lift. They're out of energy. He can't lift, Pappy. He's got like one more.
Zealot's finally not charging it from the natural, but even the shield battery working
And he's
against
done
them
it.
there. Excellent positioning here by Cure. And with no medevacs, no starport, just 3 barracks
just killing the
and
base.
a factory he's able to push in. And I think finally, Trigger's going to be able to stabilize just because there's no healing on these Marines. They're so deep in the red. But a lot of economy lost.
There's no stabilizing.
GG called. Cure is going to advance to the lower bracket semifinal. And Trigger's out of the RSL, but that was a very fun series.
And that's why Protoss open Blink usually. I love the Phoenix play. Like, I'm a big fan of Phoenix games, but it just seems so hard to deal with these early Terran pushes if they have the right unit comp.
Yeah, it really is. The Phoenix is good at dealing with the tech-focused harassment, like we saw in game number 1. The Widowmine.
GG, well played. Right now they're discussing like the Phoenix opener or the Stargate opener, and that is true. So very quickly, the reason why Phoenix openers did fall out of fashion and fall out of favor is because these all-ins and these early timings, it is so difficult to defend with Phoenixes. Because what can you do? You can lift up a Cyclone, you can lift up a Marine at a time, but it's not really the best use of the Graviton Beam, right? Like, Graviton Beams are ideal when it comes to harassing or picking off tanks or zoning away medevacs or just picking up these high-tech units, but against these early Stim timings, these early bio pushes, that is where you do struggle. So once Curious saw that it was a Stargate opener, he went for the early Stim timing. As we saw, charge was a little bit too late, so charge wasn't a big factor coming into it. There was also only one battery. Battery was depowered immediately as well, and Trigger could not hold, could not survive. It is very difficult to defend with Stargate openers. Like, that's one of the reasons why they fell out of favor over the past couple of years. But GG well played. With that, Cure, he will claim the series. He will advance on. Trigger is out of the tournament, and we're getting ready for our next and final series of the broadcast. It's going to be a TVZ between ByuN and Rogue. Una mas, one series left. So for now, we're going to be going on a short break. And when we come back, we'll have our next series. We'll have that best of 5. See you soon after the break. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the RSL, the Revival StarCraft League Season 4 Playoffs Day number 5. We are halfway through the broadcast. We just wrapped up with Cure versus Trigger. Cure did take down Trigger 3-1 to advance on to the next round. Meanwhile, we have one series left. It's going to be another best of 5. It's going to be a best of 5 between ByuN and Rogue. TVZ, pappy. Let's go. Let's go. Again, Rogue, he's the final Zerg player left in the tournament, and Rogue already had a big upset. I'll be honest, I assumed that Rogue would already be out. I assumed he'd already be out in the tournament because who did he play against earlier in the tournament? Hero. He took down Hero. There was a crazy upset in the earlier round where Rogue was able to eliminate Hero from the tournament, and we'll see if Rogue can cause another upset. We'll see if he can bring down ByuN as well. Now, more than anything, regardless of how this series goes, I want a series. I want a back and forth. Give us a game 4, give us a game 5. Technically, we did have 4 games out of the previous series, but it still felt a little bit more one-sided. I want a more competitive matchup between our players, regardless of how this goes, but we'll see. Vitas are done. We have 10,000 feet for game 1, Missing You Today for game 2, Throne of Dunes, Old Republic, and Tight Citadel. Interesting. The first game has potential for some extremities, either hyper aggression or hyper late game. We'll get into 10,000 feet. Missing Today, very large map in the map pool. Likewise, in general, actually, a lot of larger maps, a little more macro potential. Moving on forward here for the rest of the series. Let's go. Let's jump in.
As we load into 10,000 feet, he's in the top left. ByuN down in the bottom right, and ByuN is absolutely electric to watch. He's such good micro, such tempo-based play. I'm really excited for this one as we see an SUV already moving out on the map, tasteless.
Yeah, looks
so,
like we're gonna have
stepping into this spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have Rogue. In the bottom right, we have ByuN for Jabba Rebellion. If you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Personally, I lean towards ByuN, but Rogue can also be a very cheap player. As we're going for a proxy 2-racks, or we're going 3 proxy 3-racks. Let's go.
Damage to actually kill the Zerg, because floating 3 barracks home feels so bad.
Yeah.
But
so this is hyper aggression at ByuN. ByuN is just doubling down, going for the all-in, and we'll see if Rogue can defend.
Oh, we do have a third. All right.
Yeah, third SCV.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I didn't think it was gonna happen. I was gonna actually, honestly, I was gonna say it will be a 2-racks, but then I thought, well, you know, we've occasionally had this, so he's gonna go with the 3-racks. Not a bad way to start a best of 5 off.
I love it because you show no fear, right? Like,
yeah,
you got to be ready for anything in this series.
Also, this could pair nicely. Let's keep in mind, this could pair with a 2-racks proxied later as well. Sometimes it's a great move to kind of oscillate between these. So it's been hatchery first here for Rogue. Now, obviously, when you do a build like this, you're not accumulating Reapers or anything like that. You're basically making a bunch of Marines, and you're trying to hit real hard here at the entrance. And
so just pushing back again on something said, this is a bunker rush. So this is a bunker rush. The goal here is to get your bunkers up and running. The goal is also to reveal 2 SCVs. You reveal 2 SCVs, you force Rogue to pull the boys. If Rogue pulls the boys to defend, then ByuN can punish the boys being pulled. There it is. You can see here, only 2 SCVs are revealed, and third SCV is revealed, which means that Rogue now knows the boys are being pulled. And how many drones can ByuN bring down?
Gotta say, Spine going down. Gonna focus the SCV with a couple drones is what he should do, and send the rest on top of the SCVs here. They trying to get us around.
Ooh,
nice kiting.
These Marines are pretty slippery.
Yeah.
He's going to get to the other side. He gets
brutal kiting. 7 drones go down. The bunker finishes.
And the bunker's up.
That is a lot of work.
That's critical.
Already.
That's critical damage. GG. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
GG.
Okay.
That's one way to do it, man.
Yeah. All right. I mean, you know, if the
what are they gonna say?
or lings or anything, when it's coming around and you have the Marines, they're kind of hugging the wall here. They have to get underneath them and get the surround. And if they're pinned on the wall,
yes,
then you kill everything.
Right.
But those Marines were pretty slippery. He dunked him in olive oil before he sent him out, and the drones couldn't.
So when it comes to the game itself,
get there, you know.
Pulling all the boys is a really risky move to go for if you chase all the way. Usually the way you would do this is you pull the boys, you kite them back, then you pull back yourself, and you have this kind of dance, and you minimize losses while you buy time for the spine crawler. That's ideally what you want to be doing. If you commit to pulling completely to trying to go for the surround, it is so risky, it's so difficult to actually surround. This was a big risk here by Rogue. In the end, ByuN, he kited well, he pulled away, he punished, 7 drone kills, that's game. Like, you cannot lose that many workers. So Rogue, he went for the more extreme response. And if you remember, I was alluding to that at the beginning of the proxy, how ByuN wants Rogue to pull the boys. He wants Rogue to pull the boys. He wants Rogue to try to surround, and he wants to punish Rogue because it was 3 Raxes, not 2.
A lot of times when you see builds like that, you can look at it like it's a one-off cheese, but I think a smarter way to analyze it is that it's part of a best-of-5 set to win, right? And so, like, let's say he goes 2 racks next time, and the Zerg overreacts.
Yes.
Or yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways to play it. So we're in map 2, and yeah,
Oh, ByuN.
He's doing it again.
Gonna do it again.
Now, is this 2 or 3? That's the question.
Sorry,
is this 2 or 3?
That's the only way to
Proxy
cast a
Howl,
proxy.
that I'm so famous for.
Everyone's dogs in their place just woke up.
That's right.
Started
Yeah,
howling.
that's right. They're all barking.
Does he then send a 3rd SCV?
Racks here. Wouldn't it be? You know what? You know what would really make this whole day better? Would just be.
He does! 3rd SCV, proxy 3X, same build, same build. And again, ByuN is hoping for the same response. So winding it back here, I would hope that Rogue is more tame in his reaction and pulls back and tries to do his best to buy time for the queens, buy time for the spine crawler, buy time for the defense. Otherwise, we could see a repeat of the last game, especially if ByuN only reels 2 SCVs. Like, again, if ByuN fakes out of 2 racks and we see the same reaction, like, I mean, this could be just a really fast series, to be honest.
I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to send it again. This time, the Overlord might actually see it before it gets to his natural, which would be big. We see the path in of the Overlord now.
Do we have player cams available? I want to see if we could see his face. Okay, we put the player cams on.
Why did we not have them available? What is
Yeah,
it's a 3 racks.
He's going to go, okay, we're almost there. God, it feels like it takes forever for it to load. Okay, he sees that, he goes, you're kidding. Oh, look at that!
The eye roll! The eye roll! Oh,
okay, he's like, all right. Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, so let's see. Now that he knows it's coming in advance, let's see.
He doesn't know how many Raxes there are yet. Bunker should be thrown down. Faster Spore. Sorry, Spider meant to say. Jesus.
And will he commit as heavily?
He commits even harder this time.
I feel like just getting... Okay.
Okay, nice denial.
Yeah.
Wait, went for the bunker there. That was really
nice. Went for the bunker. And you can see this time he's not chasing.
For the rush, right? So
we spoke about it. This time he's not chasing. He's just buying time. This is a much safer, much more secure response here by Rogue. I like this adaptation.
Yeah, you can always move it.
This time he doesn't chase, just denying the bunker.
He's going to make as many lings as possible, saving some minerals there. The lings are actually hitting the bunker here. I'm surprised he didn't go for the SCV, but
once again we'll force a cancel.
Target it down, forces another cancel here.
No bunker.
Okay, now is it going to work? He's making a bunker back.
Now he has a spine. Now he has a queen. Now he defends. He's fine.
Yeah.
At this point, Rogue should be fine.
Canceled. I'm like, what are you gonna do with the bunker out there? Like, he's just gonna push it with the spine crawler. Oh, look at ByuN now. This is a bad feeling. You're just you know, making Marines, but you know you're speeding on the highway of death, going to the end of this game.
So from here, ByuN can go. Doesn't take gases. I was gonna say he could take gases and could go for add-ons and could go for a tech lab.
Pulling SCVs is definitely an option, and the Overlord is there at the natural, so it should see that. If that is the case, but right now it's going to be a CC at home, so he will transition eventually. Probably have to fly these barracks at some point. So good defense by Rogue, and it's actually really good that he was able to mine 100 gas while defending that, as he has his speed on the way as well.
So I don't know. Oh, hold on.
There's still a lot of Marines though here, Tasteless.
Oh.
Yeah, he's going to at least put.
He's going to get the spine. No transfuse.
The spine.
Only one queen. No shot. No shot.
You know what's funny? I just in my head he lifted the barracks off.
Yeah, no second queen. He only made one. Rogue was greedy. He's gonna lose the queen. This is game. No shot, Rogue. You did everything right. Now he gets the second queen. Oh no.
The queen just surviving there.
That was on Rogue, to be fair.
And Rogue is
that was on Rogue.
Happy in the player cams.
Yeah.
The queen
GG.
falls in with it. The game.
GG.
Look at Ziggy how hard he's laughing right now. Ziggy.
This is the best day of Ziggy's life right now.
This is so funny. All right.
He can't do it again, surely.
Rogue's hand is, his head is in his hands right now.
Man, imagine you plan like a late game strategy.
To make because it didn't occur to me until just now. So he makes the third command center to make the all-in. Because Zerg spots the command center, and he goes, all right, like, I've won the game. It's going to be a weird mid-game, but now
So winding it back, kind of getting into what we were saying, Rogue, he defended really well. We were praising him for adjusting his defense and this time not chasing the Marines down and just buying time for the Queens and buying time for the Spine Crawler. But Rogue, he only made one queen. He only had a single queen. He was droning behind it. He got link speed, which was fine, but he did not make a second queen, or I should say he delayed a second queen, I should say. So he had a weaker defense there. Rogue, because touching on what they just said, which is true, because he saw the CC, like, he was just chilling. He was just chilling. Meanwhile, ByuN just went for the push, went for the move. It was a really risky move because ByuN didn't know. Like, ByuN didn't know how many queens there were. He didn't know what there was to defend. He just like, you know what, let's just poke in. Let's just pray, baby. Let's just gamba. He gambled well. No, kill the spine, kill the queen, no transfuse, no second queen. GG. GG.
He does the same thing, but he goes mech. Okay, I've got this whole thing mapped out.
Anyway, so ByuN is up 2-0. Unamas, one more game. Do we break?
Let's do one more. Let's do one more, and then we can go to break after this. That was so short.
Okay.
That was
Your lucky days.
short.
No, State, sit back down. It's fine. We got this, okay? Yeah, let's... I don't know if the players need a break, though, but yeah, we can go into the next game whenever they're ready.
We're breaking the rules here, 3 in a row.
That's right.
Right away, but I mean, those are such quick games.
Yeah.
Players not going to be tired after that, except maybe mentally
Right.
frustrated, but
well, ByuN's not
one
tired.
of them. I mean, one of them.
yeah. I can't believe we had that. That's
It's
so
amazing.
crazy.
It's
So
just amazing to watch.
this is the last Zerg. This is the last remaining Zerg.
Not like this.
And to go down,
Not like this, Tasteless.
just bleeding out in the street. No honorable fight. Never made it to the boxing ring. Just stabbed in the alleyways.
sucker punch
Yeah,
twice.
yeah, absolutely. Sucker punched at breakfast. Like, unbelievable.
in bed.
We're going to go to Throne of the Dunes. I haven't said that one out loud. All right, we're going to Throne of the Dunes. And let's see what happens, man.
I don't even know if it's worth discussing and like analyzing the map. Like, Throne of the Dunes is a larger map of the map pool, is known for more defensive play, but like, we might just cheese again. Like, why not? Like, send it, Pappy, send it.
Against the proxies, but
Go for the hat trick.
we'll have to see if
Do it again.
that. He's saving up.
He's
Yes.
doing it.
Minerals.
He's doing it.
He's doing it. Hang on a minute.
Oh,
This one's for the
boo.
keeper.
Boo, coward.
Never mind.
He doesn't even
2
know how to
racks,
play
2
the
racks
game.
Reaper, no proxy.
Yeah, what is he doing? What is he going to make buildings in his base? Oh, my God. All right, so he's going to do, I
okay.
think, the
John,
double
give the
racks.
people what we want. We could have gone for it 3 games in a row, Pappy. Break Rogue's mental. 2 racks, 2 racks Reaper, more standard build.
Yeah, Rogue probably going to breathe a sigh of relief when he sees these buildings back in ByuN's base. Imagine if he did it again.
Yeah,
I would
that
just do
would've
it,
been-
I mean, for the mental damage alone.
I mean, at this point in time, it's like, you got some room, man.
Yeah.
Look, here's the thing. He can do this, and it fails. He goes back to the 3 racks. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, I mean, this is ByuN's kind of what he's known for historically is this 2 racks build.
Yeah.
So obviously I do like that he's pulling it out here. He's so good at this build. This is the man that got Reapers nerfed, don't forget. So he's so good with them. We'll have to see how heavily he wants to commit.
For those who
into them.
are
Sometimes you can
not fully aware, this is 2 racks Reaper. Technically, we could go into a third. We could go 3 racks Reaper in the main, and you can hide the 3rd racks further back. But the goal here is not for damage, in a sense, not for economic damage. The goal here is to contain the Zerg on 2 bases, to deny the 3rd, and to punish an overly greedy Zerg player. So it's a way to gain map control early on, to get ahead, and to gain momentum in the game.
So right now,
We'll see how Rogue responds.
come up, see the double racks, and know immediately that this is a very, very different game. And this is, I would say, ByuN's one of the best, if not the best, at this build here. You know, to the point where we saw all the pros start to really copy this. Obviously, seeing the Reaper as well, you know what kind of game you're in. And this is a Reaper pressure build. A lot of this is centered around slowing down the 3rd base. In fact, we just
Tasteless,
saw,
he
I'm
knows.
sorry.
It is all about the 3rd.
I thought there was a drone returning for a second. So, you know, it's hard to get a 3rd base up with this.
It is.
Zerg has to be pretty crafty with how they move.
Yeah, I like the Rogue only has 2 in gas. They're going to be a little bit more mineral heavy in this early game, optimized. I think once you know it's Reapers, you probably want to get 3 in there and get the speed ASAP, as that's kind of the moment where you can finally get rid of these Reapers. Only 2 here at the moment, going to be annoying, trying to deal some damage onto this Queen. And yeah, we see he's already going back into Marines here, and there's 2 CCs behind it. This is the strength of 2 racks, right? You can commit and make a ton of Reapers.
250 layer timing, no link speed. Rogue is all in.
And it's so hard to read as the Zerg.
Rogue is all in.
So
when do they notice?
The question is, what exactly is Terran doing right
When
now?
do they
Zerg
notice?
is a race that has to react.
I think Sir just noticed. He
3-minute
knows.
layer here, Ted.
Yeah, he knows.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you noticed that. That's very.
They noticed, Bobby. They noticed. But yes, this is a 2-base all in. 2-base all in. Now, very quickly here, because I'm sure they'll get there. When it comes to the strength of this all in, this works really well just because ByuN delayed his factory. Remember, ByuN, he went for a 3rd CC. They didn't show it on camera, but he went for a 3rd command center before factory, which means no Cyclone, no tanks, no Banshees, delayed starport. The tech for ByuN is very delayed. He has purely Marine, and if ByuN doesn't scout the all-in that's coming his way, he won't have a bunker. If he's able to scout, he can start some bunkers back at home and survive, but without any forewarning, without any knowledge ahead of time, then there's no reason to get a bunker, and he can just die.
Pressure that he normally does, but he's totally dialed it back. ByuN, by the way, came very prepared today.
Scout is denied.
But the problem is that if you don't get a read on what's happening in this game, you could be hit really hard. So the quick layer's done, and we'll see where exactly the game's going to go from here. But for now, we have an Evo chamber coming up.
Yeah, he's got a very quick roach speed here. He did make an Overseer, so he should be able to get in and confirm this 3rd CC momentarily. And I'm curious if he sees that and will just pull the trigger and all in here. He does have an Evo, so
he knows.
Yeah, he actually doesn't see the 3rd CC.
He knows.
Away at the back there. This Reaper comes in once again.
So very quickly, the Overseer didn't see the command center, but he did see that the starport had just started. The only reason the starport just begins is because you had a faster command center. So yes, Rogue did confirm the 3rd CC.
And Roach is, Rogue is just making a lot of roaches right now. So this is either going to be a big pressure with drones behind it, or he might just full send it.
It's an all-in.
Yeah.
And it's informed by the late starport.
It's a moment where Terran definitely doesn't want to land that 3rd CC too soon, right? Because a lot of what comes...
And again, ByuN is yet to scout. He's yet to confirm.
Trying to chew through enough of the natural kill, make
he needs those tanks.
Kill as much stuff as you can. And Terran basically has to hold back. Now, the Terran is in a... how do I say this? The longer the game goes on, assuming you don't... take too much damage, you're on like a better, superior trajectory. Because like Roach Ravager, you're really locked into the mid game.
There's one safety bunker.
You can really throw your weight around with that, but
I don't know if one bunker is really going to be enough. Here comes Rogue. He's ready. The all-in is coming.
Into what's going to be stronger for you later on. Now look at
the contamination. Let's go.
Lovely contaminate there. And the add-ons are on the outside of the racks due to the positions, the spawn positions. So combat shield actually going to go down here just before it finishes. Denied.
So he can keep hitting this. Oh, he's actually going to edge the tank back. For a second, I was worried he was going to move forward. You don't want to have the tank too far forward.
Yeah, he doesn't have a ton of tanks right now, as he did open 2
racks.
Let's
repull the boys.
Delays his factory, of course.
Buying time.
Going to try and repair these racks for a moment, but then decides against it. We'll pull them back towards the bunker for some extra defense. And now we see Rogue going back into drones. He's kind of achieved what he wanted with this. And he's going to try and get an economic lead as the Terran can't move out with their 3rd, but he is going to still push with this Roach Ravager.
Nice tank shots.
Yeah,
massive tank shots here on the roaches.
No combat shields here, so these Marines
bunker
are
goes
a lot
down.
More squishy. They're going to be wiped here. ByuN now.
And Rogue, he's doing it. He's doing it. He does get himself with the tank. Tank goes down. SCVs are being pulled. A lot of economic damage.
Thrown into the front. What is this Viking doing? So the SCV's been thrown to the front to try to tank damage. And the barracks re-landed here, and both add-ons are going to be killed. So really, they've done nothing this whole time.
Yeah. So I was going to say, maybe you could have send them a little bit further back so those add-ons couldn't be picked off.
Yeah.
That really hurts. And Rogue drone behind this right now. He's on 64 drones. 3-base saturation. Meanwhile, ByuN can't move his 3rd CC out.
Rogue, he's miles ahead. Rogue, he's got a 3-base economy. He likewise has upgrades on the way as well. He's getting 1-1. He does have the infestation bit on the way as well. That is insane. And from here, Rogue, he can take up into Hive, take up into Ultras, take up into Lurkers. We'll see where he takes us. Or even just safety infestors.
Probably to just keep Terran turtled on 2 bases.
Yeah, he does have that infestation pit just finished there. So we'll have to see how he's going to put that to use, as finally this 3rd CC gets to land at 7 minutes 30. Delayed a lot by the roach pressure. Double upgrades on the way for Rogue as well as ByuN. Finally getting that combat shields again, as it was denied, and you can't really move out until you get that. And he's getting Zergling speed, so he might go like Roach Ling into Ultra. Roach Ravager Ling into Ultra here if he does go for the Hive. Right now, though, his army is pretty big, and ByuN just going to have to evacuate immediately.
Yeah, he's going to force a lift here. And the problem is that ByuN is really stifled in his growth. Oh, is Rogue going to come in here? You know, I guess you can, right? There was never a wall in
he just trades.
So, like,
no reason not to.
You have to use SCVs. I don't know why this didn't occur to me.
He trades,
the tanks are still alive. 3 tanks on the high ground, but you know, the reality is you're fine with this as long as you're killing SCVs. 23 dead SCVs right now.
So many workers go down, even getting a tank for his troubles. And he can just, again, just keep doing this, max out, send it again, prevent this CC from landing. And he has the option to use that infestation period if he wants to take this to a slightly longer game. He doesn't need to slow the tempo a bit. It's kind of all in Rogue's court right now, making a lot more Ravagers. Oh, getting that would be very nice if he could get the Viking, as this is kind of ByuN's spotter here.
Yeah, he's going to come in again. And, yeah, 3 is the magic number for Ravager Corrosive Vials to hit that tank. And, yeah, I mean, this is a great game here for Rogue. I mean, I can't believe this command center's actually landed down here. Yeah, the Viking is going to try to zone out the Overseer. If the Ravagers can see up that ramp, they'll just target all the tanks and blow everything up, and the whole position is going to be massively destabilized.
Yeah, I believe we have no high ground vision right now.
There we go, he's coming.
Overseer's coming. As soon as he sees it, the tanks will get biled.
Oh, he already spent his biles, though.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think ByuN might be dead here.
I mean, there's so much Zerg.
Yeah, I mean, Rogue is just rallying across the map, pushing to the mineral line. Even if he is deflected, he is killing everything here on the low ground. Gets one of the tanks. GG.
GG.
Rogue fights back.
GG. Rogue fights back. Revenge of the Zergs. Or was it? Do we have another 3 racks on the way?
That might be the trigger.
Did you see ByuN at the last second? He was going like this.
Was he?
He was no, he wasn't doing that. He was like,
GG, well played. Winding it back again, ByuN just didn't scout. ByuN, he didn't scout the all-in, he didn't see the early lair timing, didn't see the early roach horn either. If ByuN had seen these things, by the way, if he was aware of what was going on, we would often see bunkers outside, or we would either see a repositioning of the production or seeing bunkers on the other side to protect that wall off, setting up tanks, and more importantly, whenever ByuN goes up against a Roach all-in, given a 2-rack Reaper opener, he does what? He does start Marauder production. He would have fixated and prioritized Marauders to be able to have a Marine Marauder-based composition to help deal and to help fight against a heavy Roach army. So again, that's all that would have been done, and likewise, on top of that, we probably wouldn't have seen a faster OTC. Remember, the factory was delayed for the faster OTC, which means late tank production as well. So we had late tanks, late bunkers or non-existent bunkers, and also no Marauders either. That all would have changed if ByuN had scouted, but alas, he had no idea what was going on, failed to scout the main base. GG. GG, well played. With that, I believe they're going to be coming to a break. When we come back, we'll have the next game here for the series. Game 4 between ByuN and Rogue. And do we get another cheese? Do we get it back and forth? Do we get into a longer game? Because so far, it's been nothing but all-ins. Game 1 and Game 2, it was ByuN all-inning. Game 3 was Rogue all-inning. Do we get another all-in, or do we finally get some macro? We'll find out. We'll see. We'll see you soon after the break. See you soon, Pappy. See you soon. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Whew, welcome back to the RSL, the Rival StarCraft League Season 4 Playoffs, day number 5. We are mid-series here with ByuN versus Rogue. Currently, ByuN is up 2-1, and we've had nothing but all-ins. Game 1 and Game 2, it was ByuN going proxy 3 racks. Game number 3 was Rogue going for a 2-base Roach all-in after a 2 racks Reaper opener. Game number 3, what's it going to be? What is it going to be? Whose turn is it to go for the all-in? Do we finally get some macro? Do we actually get some macro between these two players? I would love to see it, but I don't have high hopes. Not after what we've seen so far. But we'll see as we're going to be loading into the Old Republic.
Attacking and defending at the same time. Yeah.
Oh, it was dirty. Game 1, Game 2, absolutely dirty. We're going to go to Old Republic for set number 4, and I have my fingers crossed, hoping that ByuN is not going to go for the 3x, because so far it has looked so deadly, even with kind of almost the fake out of the command center in game number 2, and then continuing to shove with the Marines.
Yeah, I mean, if you see that as Rogue, you're thinking, okay, finally he's going to stop this pressure, and then that's the moment he sends it. ByuN's so good at these mind games. We saw him with the orbital.
He's tricky
against that Protoss player was a hero, I think. I can't remember, but yeah, he's so tricky, so devious and scheming. Terran players.
Sounds like a Disney movie villain or something.
Yeah.
All right, here. And in game number 4, it seems like he is going for a relatively normal setup. We don't have any SCVs on the map. And so ByuN going to be macroing up, hopefully. Is that going to be a command center first, actually? Man, this guy, pick a lane.
He does it all. He is the Swiss Army knife of Terrans right now.
So ByuN, he is known for CC first, but specifically on larger maps. We see it like on Winter Madness or on Celestial Enclave. Seeing it here in the Old Republic is a little bit risky, but he will have an economic lead as a result.
I wonder what kind of variant we're going to have here on the CC first. There was an era in TVZ, specifically Korean TVZ, where CC first into a 3rd CC and an 8 racks was like basically every single game. The Tastes and I cast and a couple of GSLs. And I think it works like 90% of the time. Eventually it did fall out of fashion, but I wonder which way this one's going to go here for ByuN. Are we going to have something like an 8 racks here? I know he's a very aggressive player. Or is it going to be something a little bit more Maru-esque with just non-stop greed? We have a 3rd command center, double engineering base, something like that. Which way will he take it?
Pushing back against what Stage is alluding to, he is correct in saying that for a period last year, it wasn't even that long ago, it was last year, going CC first into fast 3rd CC into fast double eBay into ARAX was very common, was very meta, but that was in a different time. Nowadays, ARAXs are, I wouldn't say dead, but 8 racks are very, very rare. The reason for that is because of a couple different reasons. One, the maps themselves don't really favor 8 racks anywhere near as much as last season, but also because of the change to the Baneling. Now that the Baneling has increased HP, the Baneling is more viable, and it does shut down these 8 racks much harder. That's why nowadays the only time you see an 8 racks is if a Terran player gets a lead early on. If a Terran player does take a lead and does critical damage with Hellions, for example, then they can follow it up with an 8 racks to just end the game. But outside of that, you don't really see ARAXs anymore.
He's checking all of his corners, making sure there's nothing hidden here on the map, but now ByuN is all buttoned up in his natural expansion right now.
But to give State credit, it was the case last year, the beginning of last year, but again, that was pre-patch, different map pool, different era. Ooh, 245 lair, Jesus. 2-base Muta? Maybe.
Just outside the natural ramp, so that's
what's the plan?
Around with the Zerglings. We'll now get the confirmation that it is a CC. And
notice the lair.
Going for a very, very quick Spire here before 3 minutes. It's not Spire, excuse me, Lair before 3 minutes.
Could be Spire.
Yeah, Lair before Zergling speed. I guess he just figured he did not need the gas there for Zergling.
It was a 245 lair.
Like ByuN isn't really doing anything on the map, and so.
Is it Roaches? It is.
Ooh, Roach Warren again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very similar setup to the last game. We'll have to see if it's going to be the same plan or if he deviates at some point. I mean, it worked really well last game, got to say. Like, he looked very, very strong. Now taking the 3rd base.
ByuN is being greedy. He went for a 3rd CC after Factory, but he's going to be delaying his starport in favor of double eBay. So very greedy.
This is the Maru variant that we're seeing. This is the maximum greed. You get a couple of Hellions for map control. They're not even a reactor right now. The reactor's on the barracks. And then you go full greed, 3 CC, double engineering bay, and if Rogue decides to just shove with Roach Ravager, similar to the way that he did in game number 3, it might be tough for ByuN to stop that again, even though he doesn't have the natural wall in this time.
Yeah, he's making another rack.
As we're alluding to, Rogue is setting up for a big all-in just like last time, and if he commits, he can kill. ByuN, he failed to scout in Game 3. We need to scout here in Game 4. Scouting, Pappy. He needs to figure out what's going on. ByuN, he's been playing blind this entire series.
Like mid-40s last game. So just a couple roaches to deal with the Hellions, some more drones, and then maybe he'll pull the trigger and start making a ton of roaches here.
Yeah, and as Mapu pointed out, there really has been no vision here for ByuN. He's only just now seeing that the third base is this delayed, and that's going to ring a couple alarm bells here.
Yeah, that's
for
a tell.
ByuN. You know that Rogue is doing a 2-base build. He got full mineral saturation on 2 expansions before going up into that third base. And Rogue simultaneously just confirming all the information here on ByuN's side of the map. It's actually a 3 barracks follow-up to this one before throwing down that starport, so ByuN should have a little bit more bio than a Terran normally.
The thing is that, again, ByuN doesn't know. If he knew we could start Marauder production, and we need bunkers. He's getting 1 safety bunker, but I don't think that's going to be enough.
Just now the starport going down an armory as well for his next upgrade, so I'm not sure if he'll actually get to put that.
Here comes the 2-base all-in. Again, no saturation at the third base, just like last game.
Go around the Hellions here. Very smart maneuver by Rogue.
He sees him with that Overlord there in the center of the map. Hey, in the moment the Hellions move over to the ramp, the roaches just start going.
He sees nothing.
Rogue just reacting. ByuN has no idea this is coming.
ByuN is blind, Pappy. He knows nothing.
Just after this battle commences, but that's a lot of roaches. Not even any Ravagers.
Now he
sees.
No.
Speed roach. It's like a Stefano game.
Okay, boys are being pulled.
Here they come in. They're going to focus down
Match
this
repair.
bunker, try to kill it before the SCVs.
Oh, can he repair? No, he can't.
The Hellions coming from the back. SCVs falling.
Bunker goes down, and this is critical damage already.
These SCVs though doing some good damage, but is this too many roaches, State?
Oh, it might be. A lot of SCVs falling already. +1 weapons being
almost
done here
around.
for ByuN, though, is a big...
contamination!
Oh, my goodness! Still got delayed there!
No stim!
Oh, the overseer with Contaminate. Delaying
He's crazy.
Still gonna be huge here for ByuN.
I mean, last game he did it on the factory, delaying the tank. This time takes Stim out of the game.
And we're going to the ace match. We're going to the ace match. That's 27 SCV kills, getting up to 30 SCVs. Critical damage. Again, ByuN did not scout 2 games in a row. GG.
2-2.
What a sick build by Rogue. Just a Roach max, no Ravagers at all because there isn't a wall to break through. You just go right straight for the Roaches, and you know the Marines, you could really see them chunk the damage in on those Roaches with +1 infantry weapons, but even then, there's just so many Roaches.
I love how the Overseers are really core part of that build.
Yeah.
Last game, contaminating the factory so the tanks can come out. This game said, oh, you're going 3 racks after the CCs. Let's delay your stim then. Good luck defending without that. It's really cool he gets it super early, so it builds up the energy to contaminate in time with the push.
Yeah, it worked out perfectly there for Rogue. And we're going to go to a game number 5. So far, both players have only shown 2 builds. More or less. I mean, ByuN did go CC first there in that previous game. When they win, yeah, Rogue's just winning with Roaches and Ravagers, and ByuN's just winning.
GG. GG well played. Again, so far, it's been nothing but all-ins. That was a 2-base all-in by Rogue, 2 games in a row. Again, ByuN, 2 games in a row, didn't scout. Didn't see the fast lair, didn't see the fast roach horn, didn't see the move-outs. ByuN was caught with his pants down again. Oh boy. And again, so far this year's has been very one-note. It's been very one-note. It's been lack of defense, lack of vision, lack of scouting, lack of awareness, and rough defenses for both Rogue and for ByuN. Question becomes, who's going all in this time? Who will all in the ace match? Let's go.
As we are loading into map number 5, Tato Citadel.
Yeah, I am kind of expecting something like a 3-racks or something like a Roach Max push, or something like this again, because it's just been the flavor of the winning games for both these players so far in the series. But I really hope we get a macro game, because I want to see a Rogue versus ByuN macro game so bad, Sturgeon.
Oh, me too, but these short games are also very exciting, I've got to say. Especially the proxy.
Do we get some macro?
Here we go, we see this drone.
Let's go. Proxy hatch.
He's like, surely there.
Yeah, proxy hatch.
Being built.
So this is going to be a hatch block. This is going to be a hatch block at the natural just to delay.
In any matchup, really, these days. But, I mean, Rogue just wants to guarantee he's not going to get caught by surprise here, I guess.
What? No, it's not a scout.
Is it going to be? Oh, it's CC first again here. For
it's a hatch block. It's hatch block at a Rogue.
The natural expansion. Man, if a Rogue spots it at CC first, that gives you so much runway as Zerg to just be as greedy as you could possibly be, and he's not even going to scout. He's just going straight for the proxy hatch.
Yeah, imagine if it was proxy 3 racks and he did a proxy hatch. That would be so funny.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing to me, is that he didn't even see the natural expansion, and so he takes a beat and he's like, you know what?
So here, ByuN, he tried to go CC first. He gets denied. He has to pull the boys because his Rax is delayed, and this is a very rough start for ByuN. Very rough start.
Yeah, a lot of SCVs going to work on this hatch.
Because this is already paying for itself. Basically, you're denying, what is that, like 8 or 9 SCVs not mining? This is crazy damage.
HP is slowly going down right now here for Rogue.
That's 9 SCVs.
Yeah, Rogue's expanding behind this. He's got his hatch on the way.
Oh no! You gotta spam click move command with one of those SCVs the moment that the hatch goes down, because when the hatch gets canceled, there's just enough creep to throw out an evolution chamber, but it only lasts like maybe a quarter of a second. Oh, Rogue, you are devious. And then he cancels it. He cancels it, gets the scouts like, oh, that you're going CC first? How about I throw down another hatchery? What, are you going to pull the SCVs again, ByuN?
I love that confirmation, though. Like, oh, you are actually expanding. Okay, let me block it then. Let me go ahead and make this hatchery once more.
So behind this, ByuN's in a... he's in such a rough position.
Oh my god.
And again, this is paying. This is more than paying for itself. Like, this is so much damage that Rogue is dealing. ByuN has no economy.
Now it's about 75% done. He's droning up fully. Is he gonna get the evolution chamber down again? I hope that ByuN is just spam clicking the move command. You gotta get on that drone. You gotta get on that. No!
He gets it down again.
No, it's okay. The Eva chamber doesn't matter as much. Like, to be fair, the Eva chamber doesn't matter as much because we're still morphing in the orbital, so we're not gonna land anytime soon. So this is okay. This part is okay, but the hatch block is brutal, and from here, Rogue, he's taking more bases, he's droning, getting to link speed, and ByuN doesn't really have any pushing power. He has marine production, he has no gas, by the way, 0 gas for ByuN, no stim timing, nothing. Eva chamber finishes, and this will actually delay the orbital. True. We'll delay the orbital, we can morph in, or we can use the broodlings to try to focus on the marines. And ByuN, he can do nothing. The thing here is that because of the lack of mining, because of the lack of economy, because of the lack of gas, ByuN's stuck at home.
Hey, go out there and hit this building for 5 minutes until it does.
Don't worry about what's going to happen when it finally goes down. You're going to be fine. Don't sweat it. But Rogue just knows everything right now. He confirmed with a drone that it's command center first here from ByuN. And he can just expand as much as he wants, and he can do anything that he wants to do. And what does he want to do, Sturgeon? He wants to go for a Baneling bust.
He wants to go for a Baneling bust. I love it.
So,
this is
winding it back, Rogue, he saw both Raxes. He knows the factory is delayed. A Bane bust would work wonders. How do you shut down Bane bust? Hellions. Hellions, they do an amazing job kiting Lings and focusing down Banelings as well. Hellions are amazing. Here, it's a 4Rax follow-up. Delayed gas, delayed stim, Bane bust here against Vanilla Marines, and if there's no safety bunkers, ByuN just dies.
So no starport, no engineering bay. It's almost like ByuN is setting up for something like combat shields, stim, and just push out across the map, you know, one big shove, but it's actually Rogue that's pushing him. I kind of feel like the 4 barracks is going to make this a little closer here for ByuN.
So what they're alluding to is that ByuN is setting up for a 2-base all-in, but Rogue hits first. Question becomes, Rogue needs those Banelings to connect with the Marines. If he can shut down the Marines, that's game.
His Marines kind of split up a little bit.
And remember, there's no safety bunkers because ByuN didn't scout. ByuN doesn't know what's happening. ByuN doesn't know there's an all-in coming.
All these Banelings are coming in.
ByuN, he doesn't know.
I mean, it might benefit him too, because this means that all the Marines are going to get instantly surrounded and killed here as Rogue charges into the natural expansion. ByuN
he wants the Marines. He gets them.
The wall goes in. Those Marines are going to try and focus fire. Banelings as best they can. They're able to get 2 of them. Oh man, great focus fire by ByuN.
Good
so
target
the wall
firing.
will be able to stand here at the main base ramp. SCVs just trying to survive right now. The Marines from the top. They can push the Zerglings and Banelings back. Rogue actually cannot get on top of the workers.
True.
The Marines would be able to focus fire down the Banelings.
That focus fire was insane from ByuN. Going to supply drop at the top of the ramp there. Lift the natural for just a moment. So Rogue will get these 3 depots, but he's not done. He's still all in, so he has to break this at some point. If that supply depot goes down, there's going to be a lot of supply lost, but he turns around at the last second here.
Doesn't commit.
He's got 500 HP. Going to need a lot of Banelings to bust through that one.
Yeah.
Do we have enough gas here for Rogue? I think there might not be enough.
Rogue is running. Rogue is containing ByuN on 1 base.
He knows he cannot break the ramp because of the focus fire here from ByuN. So what he can do effectively is force ByuN to be on 1 mining base for a long period of time. Oh my goodness, the Zerglings almost got in the main. But for now, Rogue has to reset.
Yes. Yeah, he's going for double evos. He's droning again. The question is, when does ByuN get to send his workers back to the natural here?
So a couple of things here. Rogue, he fails to kill. He fails to kill ByuN. He is at least containing ByuN on a 1-base economy. You can see that the ByuN has a higher SCV count, but he's not mining. He now moves down, but Rogue is moving and he wants those SCVs. He wants them.
Marines hiding behind these gases.
Ooh.
Beautiful target fire there. A lot of workers going
Nice
down.
hold position micro.
Hold position on the Lings. And who's ahead right now is the question, I guess. This is still a lot of Marines, though.
It's tough to say, but I kind of like ByuN's position right now with the
I agree. I like
because
ByuN's
Rogue's
position.
in a really awkward spot where his drone count is way lower than he would want it to be.
Again, Rogue, he was all in. He failed to kill, and ByuN has a really nasty stim timing here with all these Marines. And now suddenly Rogue is in trouble. Like, that's a lot of Marines. He's making 5 Marines at a time.
Worry about the threat of ByuN just getting barely enough defense.
We have a game. It's very tense.
Hold the Ling run by.
It's very
and
tense.
Then push into the third, push into the natural expansion, because if you're going for one big push as ByuN, you only need maybe 1 stim, right? You don't need the Metamax, you don't need +1, and ByuN's actually doing it. He is circumventing the Marines, or the Zerglings in the middle of the map.
He slips by.
Rogue has no idea. He doesn't control the watchtower. He has no idea the Marines are coming.
This is insane. I can't believe he doesn't have that watchtower with the Ling. He's just droning.
And Rogue is droning. Rogue is droning. Rogue sees nothing. Without any defensive bailings, ByuN, he breaks through.
He's going to walk straight
0
past the
bailings.
base. Okay, no, he will turn around and confirm this. I was going to say, if he goes straight into the natural, that could be very scary for Rogue here. You may just lose the game. He's going to need some defensive bailings. There we see some more.
ByuN plays it safe.
Speed, just under halfway done.
Rogue defends.
It looks like Rogue will survive and get away with his droning here, which was a bit greedy, really, considering how many Marines this was.
Yeah, but ByuN, you know, there's a lot of fog of war right now here for ByuN. He does not know the complete picture, and so you have to be very careful.
I think ByuN assumed he got spotted by the Zelnaga tower. It is the issue. Like, we know that he didn't get spotted by the tower, but ByuN, I think he just assumed.
Very cautiously. Stims, I think he senses that Rogue is going for this round right now. Rogue able to get a good surround.
Oh, he shots him.
Very good focus fire.
The bailings, oh my god! He connects.
I think there's enough links to clean this up, but that is a cost-efficient trade here, or about as cost-efficient as you could possibly get with those Marines.
Yeah, that could have been much, much worse if the Baners weren't focused down there. You could just lose everything instantly. So behind this, he does have a 3rd CC, and we actually
he's going for a second bust. 13 Banelings.
I guess a gold base down here in the bottom left as well.
Second bust for Rogue.
So Rogue setting up himself into a nice position here in the mid game.
And Rogue double expanding, still sticking on 60 drones, not droning more, by the way. And so 8:30, I think it's around the time the main base starts mining out quite a bit. And so Rogue, he's mostly taking these expansions for the larva because Link Bailing is so larva intensive, but also so that he will have somewhere for these drones to go. A lot of them are heading out.
The wall's open. He's going for it.
Sets his sights on trying to break through the wall here in the natural expansion. Links and Bailings flooding in again. Great
Bailings, can he connect?
Focus fire down the Bailings.
Oh my
man,
god.
This is Marine split challenge. There's like no connections on the Marines. 8 SCVs do fall. We have Burrow, so some of them are still hiding in the natural expansion. But ByuN, just excellent control again on the defense, where one mistake could be fatal.
Okay, there's the links.
Yeah, amazing.
I was like, are those Banelings?
Still burrowed here in the natural. He'll probably wait until the Terran army moves over to the 3rd to unburrow those. He sees there's no workers here right now. Actually got some Baneling landmines set up here.
He's crazy.
He could be in for something juicy if these Marines overextend chasing the Lings.
Yeah, ByuN is just making Marines, Widow Mines, and Medevacs right now. 1-1 going to be done here in just a moment. Rogue still playing on a very low drone count, but keep in mind he does have that gold base in the bottom left corner. Infestation pit nearing completion, so Ultralisks in the cards in a couple of minutes should Rogue decide to go that way. Adrenal would also be huge for the composition that Rogue is running, and oh my gosh, those Baithlings, the Marines are so close.
Can he bait him?
Yeah, he's trying to bait them on top of these mines, just misses those 3. Will the rest of them go down that ramp? No, they will turn around to deal with the Ling Bane here. The Widow Mine was successfully deflected here.
Takes out the
Widow
Bailings.
Mine shot. So many Bailings getting taken down. SCVs are going to be able to evacuate
better
the third
defense
base
for
without
ByuN.
any fatalities, and the Marines just standing stronger.
Mine shot going off.
Yeah, what do we have?
Rogue is getting messy. Messy engaged by Rogue, but it gets into the mineral line.
They're so trapped back here. He's going to lift them up.
Nice
save by ByuN.
It's an evacuation. All right, well, ByuN, he's able to take down this 4th base, the Queen there. There are no drones. I think he might be realizing exactly how low eco Rogue is, because this is a very low economy Zerg right now.
Okay, nice SCV kills.
In total. Scan is going to
Bearing in mind, Rogue has the gold.
Drop now heading into the main base of Rogue. But ByuN, his economy is not great either. He's struggling to mine from this 3rd base.
Does ByuN notice?
Yeah, I still think ByuN's
he does, he scans.
He has that gold base now that he's transferred workers to. So even though the count isn't super high, he's going to be mining a lot down there. While ByuN's still trying to take his 3rd base here, actually get mining there for a decent amount of time.
Yeah, the gold base is pulling a lot of weight right now here for Rogue.
Yeah, we have the Hive almost finished as well, so we can go into Ultras, as you mentioned. 3-3, Adrenal, all these Hive upgrades.
The problem is that these Bard Banelings, they're so close to the edge. I don't know if they'll ever find any good connections.
Yeah, and that's a sensor tower. It is not a missile turret, so ByuN still does not know. Zerglings and Banelings coming in once again. ByuN has a split.
Decent connections, okay.
So many Banelings rolling in right here. Almost more Banelings than Marines in this engagement.
Yeah, big Widowmine shot there helps to equalize the numbers, but here comes the second wave.
Better trade here by Rogue. He overwhelms, shuts down the Marines.
So much damage here for Rogue. Is he going to be able to take game
and he's
5
done
and
it.
move on in this tournament state?
He breaks the natural lings. They're flooding into the mineral line. Banelings as well. Boys being forced off. 20 SCV kills. GG gets called.
And the only Zerg in the RSL will survive another day. It was good versus evil after game 1 and game 2 with back-to-back 3x victories there for ByuN.
He should have done it again, man. He should have done it again. Oh.
Wow. That was a
great
fun
game,
series.
That was super fun. And a great game 5 to kind of finish out with there.
GG, well played. Congratulations. Rogue, he will claim the series. This was a clan fiesta of a series, I'll be of a broadcast, I should say. GG, well played. We never really got any macro. Yes, the game did elongate a little bit, and technically Rogue had 3 base saturation, but he was hyper aggressive. He wasn't taking up into Hydras or into Hive Tech. Like, it was very, very low eco. We had a bit of a back and forth here, and there was potential for ByuN to do some counter damage. Once again, ByuN was playing blind, and he was in a really rough position, losing control of his losing control of his natural, losing control of his mineral lines, and it never really quite stabilized. Never quite got there. Almost did, but never quite did stabilize. With that, GG, well played. With that, we have our top 4. We have Maru versus MaxPax in the upper bracket. We have Rogue versus Cure in the lower brackets. GG. GG, well played again. Congratulations to Rogue. At least we still have a Zerg player in the tournament. I do appreciate it. We'll see how Rogue handles himself against Cure there. We'll see, Pappy. We'll see. Best of luck, Pappy. Best of luck. We're going to be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the second day. It's going to be day 6 of the RSL playoffs. We'll be covering MaxPax versus Maru. Only one series tomorrow, bear that in mind. And then the day after will be the final day of StarCraft of RSL. It'll be 3 matches, lower brackets, semis, lower bracket finals, and then grand finals, back to back to back. So yeah, we will have that on Sunday. 3 days straight of RSL. Quickly catching up on our schedule. Un momento. Bam. Catching up on our schedule here, as you can see, we just wrapped up with our Friday evening cast. We do have a Kung Fu Cup tomorrow morning. So Kung Fu Cup is going to be tomorrow morning, of course. That's going to be our coverage of Kung Fu Cup week number 3. We have RSL Saturday evening and then RSL Sunday as well. I'm not too fond of the idea of tomorrow only being 1 series and then the final day being 3 series. Personally, I wish it was 2 and 2. So just to split up a little bit more. But, you know, it is what it is, Pappy. It is what it is. Let's go. Just catching up in the chat. Catching up. Not even one tank protecting his third base. If you recall, he was going into mine production. Like, again, bearing in mind the economy was really low. And the production was very low as well. So, like, the idea of trying to stabilize it, it wasn't quite there for ByuN. He hadn't quite gotten there yet. Whew. Bearing in mind that the mine shots were actually really good. Like, we had some really, really good mine connections when it came to ByuN. Yeah. The Zerg dream stays alive. True. Counter the turn, just ignore the proxy hatch and make a bunker. Bearing in mind that was CC first, so just catching with the chat. Remember, it was a CC first build, so there were no Marines, there was no racks. That's why he had to pull the boys specifically in that position. Winding it back to the early game of game number 5, the reason why the boys are being built because there was no racks, so there was nothing to attack. And if the hatchery finishes, I think you're insinuating, like, can't you just leave it and then make a bunker? If the hatchery finishes, then suddenly that becomes more threatening because suddenly you can make queens and you can make lings, you make units out of that larva, right? It's like the goal there for ByuN was to make sure that the hatchery never did complete. Otherwise, that would have made for a much more difficult defense, as that would have allowed Rogue to actually commit and actually make use of the hatchery. That's also why, like, the Evo Chamber didn't really matter as much, because the Evo Chamber was just delaying. We couldn't really achieve anything else with said Evo Chamber, as opposed to a hatchery finishing, right? Because the hatchery finishes, queen pops out, starts splitting creep. We can even set up spine crawlers or produce more lings and have a stronger kind of follow-up here into a Bane Burst, into a Roach Rush. It kind of opens up more aggressive possibilities for the Zerg player. But it was a brutal start. It's brutal.
Absolutely. Why not? This is like, in a world of all this short form content, stuff like this is hard to come by. You know,
if ByuN had his way, it was going to be short form content today too.
Oh, there's a clown in the chat. Oscar watch yourself when it comes to backseating.
We'll see you then.
Don't be a clown, Pappy. Don't be a clown. But otherwise, the backseating players, of course, that we're covering. But otherwise, we're going to be wrapping up. Here. And with that, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We're going to be wrapping up for the time being. We'll be back tomorrow morning with Kung Fu Cup, and we'll be back on Saturday and Sunday for more RSL action. So with that, we'll bid you adieu. When it comes to other events going on, who can we raid? Who can we send everyone over to? Let us quickly have a look. I see Big Gabe is streaming at the moment. Who else is streaming? Let's have a look here. Loco is live. Who else? Indy was covering RSL. Deadly Kitten is playing in Big Brain Bouts. Okay, that's later on tonight too. True. Big Brain Bouts. Not many other people live though. Yeah, not many other people. Okay, we'll find someone to send a love to send everyone over to. Give them some love, give them some support, give them a chance, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, right, if you want to support us, you can do so via following us on all the socials, !socials in the chat. You'll get a link to our YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all things CranKy Ducklings, and our Patreon as well. Otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft, for Kung Fu Cup, and for Revival StarCraft League. Till then, ciao, papi ciao, hasta luego.